And welcome back to StorytellerSpira. We are back playing Vampire the Masquerade, New Orleans by Night. We are on episode 3 now, chugging along. So how are all my lovely PCs tonight?
Awesome.
Lovely, as is mentioned.
It's
Wonderful.
been a long day, but, I am looking forward to relaxing with this.
Hey, go. What's better than relaxing as somebody else?
Exactly.
How are you, Spira?
I'm good. I also had a little bit of a long day, but not too bad. So I'm excited for this. I did some extra writing earlier that actually made me even more excited to play than normal. So hoping that's fun for everybody. Let me get some background music going. Found a couple more tracks. I want more stuff, but I found a couple extra things. There we go. We'll put this on for a little bit. Make sure it's loud enough. Got a little bit of a jazzy feel. But yeah, what has everybody been up to? Any fun video games, other stuff?
Just a nice relaxing day of doing math. That was my day today.
I've been playing Escape from Tarkov and realizing I'm just too good at it. It's just too easy.
It's just too easy.
Are all of you guys playing Escape from Tarkov now?
No. I'm playing Dying Light. And it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'm still on Stardew, man.
I have been playing a crap ton of Assassin's Creed.
Which one?
The newest one.
The first one.
Damn!
Origins.
Damn!
I'm still on Breath of the Wild mostly, but we did buy Fire Emblem, the new one for the Switch, and oh boy, that's got some interesting music.
So Lost Akira, I would be playing Monster Hunter World if they didn't delay the release by like a million months for computer.
Yeah, I think it's like 6 months away. So
yeah, I would be playing that, but they're like, no.
I didn't realize they had like 12 different styles for you to choose from. That's pretty much like 12 different classes. It's awesome. I cannot wait for it.
So, I haven't been playing many video games because the game I'm currently addicted to has a major patch coming out in less than a month, so it will be a while before I get to play Alien Purging Simulator again.
See, the game that I've been playing and addicted to lately is Vampire the Masquerade. It's pretty great.
What's that?
I heard that game is...
Nerd lame dad joke!
It's only alright.
Way to suck up to the STs, buddy.
You need 13?
Yeah, I checked because... What? Oh,
Breath of the Wild is like my favorite.
is my mic not picking up or too loud?
I can hear you.
Okay. I was moving a couple windows around, so sorry. It should not be a problem like it was before.
Playing, though? I don't hear that.
I have it in roll 20.
There it is. Never mind.
Okay.
Refreshed it. It's fine.
Yeah, roll 20 is, brilliant at that.
Guys, I might have just looked over at my wife's screen and she has this Nintendo Switch and Breath of the Wild in her shopping cart. I'm a little excited.
It's really flippin' fun.
What? I don't understand why you would go what is the benefit of the Switch other than it's kind of you can take it places.
I don't know, man. I played it on the Wii.
There are Nintendo
It's the games. I want to play Zelda.
That's kind of.
I have that on the Wii U.
I don't have the Wii U. I haven't had a Nintendo console since 64.
No, I know. I just like I have a Wii U, and people are like, you should get the Switch. And I'm like, I have the Wii U. It's the same thing, except I can't attach my controllers to the screen. Oh no.
Well, you can take it places. Like Spira travels for work. That works really well for her. One of us can use the TV. She can play it fully natively on a much better tablet.
So basically, it's the resurgence of the Game Boy. Like they're coming back. Just
except it's on like a tablet, which is way more intuitive.
And also,
it's like a big old 3DS.
And we were in the same case as Zabani, that like we haven't had anything like practically since the N64. Like I had a 3DS for a week. Didn't really want to keep spending $60 on games that were about 14 hours long, so I sold it. That was about it. But anyway, everybody's here, a little bit warmed up, so I think it's a good enough time to get rolling with our game. All right.
No, he's not in this game.
Huh?
I freaked out.
Roland's not in this game.
I was like, Roland, we're starting with me? All right, let's do this. And I was like, no, that's not.
Wait, I'm not even playing Roland. I don't.
I'm leaving.
Right,
Great campaign, guys.
Who has the next most experience running VTM?
Alright, I got this, fam.
Alright, cool, let's go.
Alright, you guys all see yourselves in a bar. What do you do?
I leave and go back home.
Good game, guys, to experience.
Good campaign.
Roll credits.
All right, children. All right. So based off of last week's game, specifically, actually, you know what? Let's do our quick little intros. We can keep them a little shorter since we've talked a lot about our characters over the last couple episodes. But let's see, anybody who just joined, and just even as a refresher, let's start with Super Chocolate Bear as Luther, the Toreador. Say something about yourself. How you feeling?
Feeling good. So with this game, are we starting before the jump, or are we doing the jump afterwards?
We're going to discuss before the jump. So anything your character would have done, person you wanted to talk to, you can definitely cover that in-game to make sure it's noted. But the bulk of tonight should be that next week.
Cool. So yeah, I'm excited. Obviously, we get to have a huge party. Mardi Gras is going to get started. And he's going to be pretty much useless in this whole endeavor besides just introducing Dinah. That's all he's going to do. And just hang out. But he's happy about it.
Nice. Next we have Zabani as Abraham the Ventru.
I am also looking forward to this party. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I may be a little bit more useful in identifying one of these mages, if not necessarily doing anything about it, because I'm just an old cripple. But noticing who they are and recognizing them, I might be able to help with. And I have a couple of other plans up my sleeve over the next couple of weeks that I'm thinking about working at. Also, I have a cat.
Nice.
Hello. I'm playing Dinah, the Toreador, and she was signed in the 1920s. She's a little bit younger than some of these other guys, and she was a jazz singer who didn't actually make it to be super famous, but instead got very established in the actual city of New Orleans, coordinating musicians together and kind of running a lot of that side of the city, hooking people up with venues and other bands and all kinds of things like that.
Next we have Muddy Anzus as our gangrel Bjorn.
And just mainly looking forward to wrangling everything up. Just nipping everything that's been going on and brewing in the city in the butt so that by the time, media attention and all that hits, everything goes smoothly. People are focused on the drunken tourist acting like idiots, and we can get back to normal, and none of this technocracy or upstart Lupine or any of that can get in the way, and we'll settle this and sleep easy for once.
Then we have Koznark as Theo the Samedi.
Yeah, me and Rebecca have just been hanging out and doing stuff. I don't know if you guys I don't know if you guys know, but she's got a cat, and I'm gonna pull that cat out of a hat if it's the last thing I do on this planet. And I mean that. I will.
And last but not least, poor hopeless entree playing Rebecca the Mage, who has found herself Theo's best friend, apparently.
Hi, I have a cat. I'm scared shitless for this stupid ass goddamn motherfucking piece of shit party that people think is a great idea. I don't think it's a great idea.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea.
No one thinks it's a good idea. We're just
What's the worst thing that can
we
happen?
don't have a
This
different
is
idea.
my intro, lady. Everyone thinks it's a great idea
No.
except me. That's the facts.
All right.
According to this specific intro.
All right. Well, to get started, basically over last episode and a little bit the episode before, the prince tasked specifically Luther, Abraham, and Dinah to try and find out more information about the technocracy mages in the city and their movements, because he believes they're going to be causing some trouble, might try and do something drastic with Mardi Gras coming up. As Mardi Gras is coming up, the city's going to be wild, so it's going to be even harder for a prince to keep track of everything. And specifically asked them, if you can find me one, you will be owed a great boon from the prince. I will owe you basically whatever you ask within my power. Because he has never been able to really meet one in person, find one, capture one, anything like that. Theo, Bjorn, and Rebecca were informed about this kind of task, bet. But definitely the way Luther's seeing it, who can get this, is kind of a good gamble for his character. But the main thing was that Luther, Abraham, and Dinah agreed, these socialite kindred, that it might be a good idea to develop a sort of party that might lure them in if they're already looking for other supernaturals, these technocracy mages, trying to throw a barely masquerade breaking party might be a nice little treat. So Dinah specifically, as she is basically a talent agent, books clubs all the time, finds parties and sets them up, she was taking the lead on getting the party actually running. Abraham and Luther have been providing help, as well as doing their own preparations for Mardi Gras, which is as big and exciting for kindred as it is for humans. On the other side of things, Theo and Bjorn were talking about potentially trying to find the Lupine in the city, at least one they could talk to amicably, because the treaty that the kindred and Garou, werewolves, Lupine, whatever you want to call them, had previously to work together to fight off the technocracy mages was different territories, and the Lupine so far are, or recently over the last 50, 100 years, are starting to feel like they're getting gypped as the humans and kindred start, developing more and taking more of the natural lands around the area. Rebecca feels a little torn. She feels like, on one hand, she could be useful at the party to try and spot mages or tell the others what to look for, what to avoid, and at the other hand, is scared to death of being around any technocrats, but of course also werewolves. Both exciting and terrifying. So she has been a little bit dancing on the fence. In any case, from last episode, we are skipping about a week to the actual night of the party, and when at least Bjorn is planning to try and go find some Lupine to speak with. In the meantime, I do want to check in with each of your PCs directly and see what you would have definitely wanted to cover over that week. If there's anyone you would have wanted to speak with, anything you would have wanted to do. So let's start first with Super Chocolate Bear as Luther. Actually, no, we'll start with Dinah, because I know Luther and Abraham are kind of helping her out. So Dinah, you have this party going. You did already solidify a band. You have Heather is one of your herd. You spoke with her. She said that her... Sorry, puppies were loudly drinking water. But you had Heather, one of your herd, and she actually is in like 2 different bands. She's a drummer in a jazz band and a rock/jazz band kind of fusion. She said that her rock and roll band is actually available and has been looking for more work. The band is called The Callaways, after Cab Calloway. And then, and you don't know the other band members that well, but you trust her. You know she's a great musician, and you know that her bands do well wherever they play. So she was already taking care of that on her end. What else would you want to plan or prepare for a big party that's going to be mixing some humans and others?
I mean, I would need to put someone on ordering refreshments for both parties and making sure everything's stocked up right, making sure that there's kind of security around the place. You don't want it to be, you want to catch a wide net, but you don't want to be too overcrowded. And you don't want there to be no room for the people we need to come in. So, same kind of thing. I would also be trying to do normal party stuff, set it up, make it look nice. But I'm sure the people who own the place probably can do that on their own, but still. Hire other musicians than just myself, other bands to play as well.
Yeah, so you want a large party, so you definitely want to have like a couple different acts, as well as maybe even like a DJ who can regularly keep some tracks going in between the live sessions. Yeah, all right, so Dinah's got all of that set up. Mardi Gras is, again, as I mentioned, around the corner. So are you looking to join any crews, or do you feel like you're going to be a little bit too busy with your actual work schedule?
Was that me?
Sorry, the mic was out again, I think. Anyway. No, Dinah, I was saying, she's got all of this party planning to do. So one thing I wanted to explain, especially to the audience, if they didn't know, with Mardi Gras, there's a thing called crews, Krewe. They're kind of social groups that specifically do parades, parties, things like that. They can be based around a simple ideal like music and art. It could be a very, very old one. There's a couple that were actually started in the 1800s and are still running today. And then there are some like very defined ones. Like there is one, and this is a real one. There's a specific one where it's all African Americans, and their crew parades and floats are a big celebration of the freedom from slavery. So really interesting part of Mardi Gras. Some kindred have very kindred specific ones, and then other kindreds will just join different ones depending on the year or their affiliations, things like that. Now, Luther, did you have any interest in this?
No, like, particular stake in any of them, just doing... He'd probably just hang out with Dinah and just whichever one she has. He doesn't care which one he's really in.
Alright, and is there anything else you're doing over the week before the party?
Yeah, so if I remember, our plan was to kind of like bring a lot of items of supernatural powers and whatnot to try and like, make it, give it
definitely advertising like, hey, we're gonna have some cool stuff for this party. If you're into the supernatural and the occult, you should check it out.
Yeah, and we ended before we could. So the person I was talking about was Theo, and we never actually had a chance to like really talk to him about like, hey, are you okay with putting up some of your items? But Luther would also...
Well, this is our downtime conversation. So let's say Luther, either would you call or go see him at one of his little old shacks?
Oh, I'd call. I don't have time to fucking go see Theo. I would call him.
Alright, during the week, Luther gives Theo a call to discuss with him putting up some of his items, at least as museum pieces, if not for sale.
Correct.
I meant, like, go ahead and do that.
Oh, alright.
We got time to spare. It's roleplay, baby.
Ring, ring. Ring, ring. Ring, ring. You gotta answer it, bro. You can't just hold it.
I know, I was waiting for her. She was talking in my ear. I was waiting for her to stop. Typical women. Kidding. I love you. Please don't kill me.
Ass.
Hello?
Theo, this is Luther. Are you busy?
I mean, no, it's fine. No, take the goat back. No, don't put it. Not in the cake. No, bring it. Yeah, sure. What's up?
Well, you know, of course, the party that we are trying to set up, and it's supposed to be more of a supernatural kind of feeling. I thought maybe we could add some legitimacy to it if we added some of your collection to maybe auction off, or maybe just to have on display or something like that.
I mean, how much are shrunken human heads going for nowadays? I checked back in like the 50s. It wasn't great, but I've heard of this eBay thing.
Spear, I think I might actually. Can I roll a cult and actually, because I gamble with them, I feel like I would know the value. I'd be like the antique roadshow of occult items like this.
Absolutely. Roll me intelligence and occult.
Versus 7.
Just 6.
Three.
All right. And we're talking specifically shrunken heads.
Specifically shrunken heads. Oh, I didn't even think this puts you on the spot to now.
No, I was just trying to think because I had a question for Theo. Now, are these pretty standard? They just look like shrunken heads. Did you add any additional elements to them, markings, anything that like someone who is in the market for items would recognize the difference?
Oh yeah, there are definitely some paints on them. They're painted up, stitched with probably coins in some of the eye sockets, like the stitching to close the eyes, and then over top like an X stitched through with like some special coins. Whatever he finds interesting, that kind of stuff. Maybe some bones, animal bones stuck to the heads. Whatever he tickled his fancy. Super collectible. None of them. He probably wouldn't part with any that were specifically supernaturally valuable, unless he was asked that directly to bring something of actual supernatural value.
In that case, if he puts up anything that is legit and looks well crafted, the average consumer might pay $100 to $200, depending on also like additional materials used. Like if he does put gold coins like in their hair or over their eyes or something like that, that of course, you know, will raise the price. A very simple shrunken head, just, you know, crossed out eyes with some twine is going to be a little cheaper. If you are asking for something imbued, in which case you can market that with its selling price, it's going to probably be more something you bargain with the buyer. You know what I mean.
Yup.
Start high and let them try and haggle down.
Fuck, what did we end off saying?
I asked if you wanted me to bring like shrunken heads or something.
Yeah, you asked me the value. Well, of course, that depends on the whole situation with the head. If it is a, you know, if it's something a little bit more special, obviously we can get a little bit more money for it, but your basic ones is usually around 100, 200 these days.
You know what? That works great. I've got too many skeletons in my closet anyway.
And of
We
course,
think like 16, 20?
I mean,
Do they count as extra if they're from war criminals?
Yeah, I believe they do count as extra if they come from war criminals. So yeah, I mean, bring those, but and I'll also trying to be add to the collection also. But I know you have a plethora of them just lying around, so I thought I'd ask you.
You maybe want to bring the special skull that you were looking at on my table the other night?
Now that one is for me, not for some yahoos to be buying. That one interests me, of course. So no need to bring that one tonight.
Well, you had a sharp eye. I'm sure someone would notice it. Maybe
Would.
someone you're trying to catch, and I don't know, incentivize you to not let go of it.
All right. Yes, bring it. Fine, bring it. Maybe it'll help us in our cause. But besides
Anything else?
that,
I've got a goat here. Do you want a goat?
nah, unless it's a goat possessed by the devil himself, I don't think it will give us
Hold
any
on!
cause.
Is it possessed by the devil? What do you mean all goats are possessed by the devil?
Never mind. I'll bring the goat just in case.
Yeah, maybe whatever you want, Theo. That sounds great. Just make sure you run it by Dinah before you start bringing goats into the party. But yeah, I have a lot of things I need to be doing. I'll be leaving.
All right, just text me whatever else you need.
Of course. Thank you again, Theo.
No problem. Anytime.
Click.
All right, so Luther has apparently dealt with that. Moving along to Abraham. Tell us a little bit about... Oh, yeah, what?
There's one other thing. I was going to try and add to that collection too by doing some gambling over the week and trying to find items. So if we could just do like a quick roll for that to see if I can add items to the collection, that would be awesome.
Yes, 1 second.
At some point during the week when Theo finds out you're gambling around for like some extra items, he's be like, well, I think I know a couple ladies. If you want to provide your services, they might give you something nice.
I didn't know where you're going with that, but that sounds like Theo.
All right, go ahead and roll me. Do 5 rolls of your charisma and alertness, and that'll each count for some game you played trying to outmaneuver somebody, catch them off guard.
Six successes for the first one. You want me to do this how many times?
5.
Guys, this rolling thing is like super cool.
Now that you're not playing Roland, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice when you get something other than botches.
This is just super neat, guys. Look at this.
Do you know what a success is?
This is my first time.
Because I'm pretty sure the only way you roll is just roll and just say, I failed. I don't know how or why. I just know I failed.
Yeah, that's what I'm used to. Look at all
Roland's
these
problem
greens.
is he keeps rolling 1d1s and is surprised when he fails.
But he would still roll them every time. Roland wouldn't care. Even if someone's like, "You're not going to win this," he'd be like, "Guys, I got this. Calm down."
This cat is being slightly problematic to my mouse hand.
Mine does the same thing where it'll lay on your lap, but lean its head over your arm, and it's just like, how am I supposed to shoot people like this?
All right, it looks like you got multiple successes each time.
I think there was one he failed on.
No, there was one that I only got 2 successes on.
Okay, yeah, I was trying to make sure. I think that's the lowest. So, let's say for that, the successes that were like 2, 3, and 4, you found okay stuff. You found some people who had some occult items that they were willing to put up for bets, or, you finagled it out of them one way or another, and they're pretty nice things. There's a nice dagger or a thame tool from one of them. Similar kind of things, like simple ritual tools you found that are at least good quality if they're not rare. The 5 successes, let's say you get a Gree bag, which is a voodoo tool used for different things depending on how it was made and what it was made for.
It's not videos, is it?
No, it's not. It's actually off of another collector. He didn't even he has no connection with how it was made. He has it. He has the backstory for it. And he put it up on your game. Gave it over to you, said it was from a medicine woman, so it's more of a healing based thing. It's for sicknesses. And number 6 is gonna be it's gonna be a ring that has been imbued with a little bit of kind of, the way the person explained it was luck magic. And it is a very rare commodity because, well, when it works really well, and when it doesn't, it can be a bit of a trick. So, it is, in a way, a lot of people might not see it as useful because you don't know how it works. The guy decided to wear it during the game and failed miserably, but it was a richer fellow in New Orleans, and he kind of took it in stride. He laughed it off. He said, there you go. And you were skeptical, but you went and took it to, say, maybe Rebecca. She looked it over and would have nodded and said, yeah, that's covered in magic.
Just oozing.
Just covered.
Just, ugh.
Layered in it.
Hey, can I lick it?
The thing is, Luther also wouldn't keep that, or he wouldn't use it because he would consider it cheating for games. So.
Oh, absolutely. And I love that about Luther, that he's like, nope, it's gotta be for me.
It's gotta be on the up and up. All right, that's what I would have done for the week.
But a collector would find that fascinating, whether they would actually want to use it or not.
For sure. All those items. Normally, if this was his own time, he would put all of them into one pot and see if he could get another really big item. But since there's a mission, he's gonna hold back and he's going to use it for the the thing.
Yeah, so you got a nice legit shrunken head, 3 basic ritual tools, a nice gree bag, a healing one, and a luck ring, quote unquote, question mark at the end. Now, Abraham, what would you be doing?
Okay, so it's already agreed that I am dealing with like on paper advertising and stuff. So I'm going to get some brochures and like flyers rather made up. Probably put super vague, kind of only a kindred would recognize what this means term, talking about if you're a kindred spirit to this, stuff like that. I'm gonna do that. I am going to ask Dinah and just kind of whoever's here what the expected dress code is gonna be. Like what people are probably going to be wearing.
That'll be on Dinah.
Dinah.
Beg pardon? I'm sorry.
What is the expected dress code gonna be here? Like what are we assuming people are just gonna wear?
Oh, I mean, it's Mardi Gras, so purple. You can pretty much wear anything, but everybody's expected to wear something costumey, some kind of, maybe a mask or gold, red, or green. Not red, gold, green, or purple.
Yeah.
Feathers, that kind of.
All right, cool.
Yeah, but you can pretty much just. Yeah, I mean, Dinah's gonna be dressed super nice, but that's only because she's singing. You don't have to dress super nice.
Yeah, no, in fact, I'm not going to. I'm going to try and find the most generic outfit to wear, something that doesn't look super touristy, but doesn't I'm going to try and find something that doesn't particularly stick out in any way. And I would like to hire a private investigator, preferably one who knows about the darker side of New Orleans, but like don't want a ghoul, don't want anyone whose aura is going to show to anyone who can read an aura. So if all I get is just a regular private investigator, that's fine. And I'm going to basically hire him to come to the party, and then if he gets a text from me to follow someone, follow me and tell me where they go.
There's definitely a private investigator in the city that is a ghoul to another kindred, and you would have known them through that.
But I don't want them because they would have the splotchy aura, right? Their aura would look different.
That's right. Okay.
That's a concern for me. I don't want them to be. I don't want if these mages can read auras, I don't want them to know that they're being followed.
Okay, good point. Then in that case, yeah, you would probably have to settle with a regular investigator. Now, New Orleans is weird, so if he's done any investigating in his lifetime, he's probably seen stuff, whether he's a skeptic or not, understands that there is weird stuff that happens in the city.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're gonna have the only other non-ghoul humans have probably been recruited into that special task force in the police office.
Cool.
So
then yeah, I'm going to just find a special or a private eye that I get good reviews on Yelp about, and I want them to come the night of the party and follow someone if I tell them to follow them. And like under no circumstances are they to interact with this person. Just follow and don't be seen.
Perfect. All right.
And I think that's everything for me.
Cool. All right. Bjorn. Now, you especially, out of all of our crew here, were kind of core set on finding puppies. Now, by the treaty, you will know, not only by the treaty, but just common knowledge among kindred, you'll know the areas that are proper Lupine territory. So you could potentially go that route, just walk in there, try and find one, and not get your head sliced off. The only other thing I think your character would know to do is potentially ask Travers.
Yeah, that would definitely be my first route to go, is to get in contact with Travers and try to set up a meeting of some kind and push him to that. If all else fails, then he might just start walking where he shouldn't.
Okay. So you know, the long, painful route of trying to get Travers to actually set up a meeting with you. You spend a couple more days, but you like really push sending him messages, leaving them in his cabin that you really need to speak with him. It's pretty urgent. He does like you because he likes gangrels best out of all kindred. So he finally relents after a few days. You're getting nervous because you're like, we gotta take care of this soon. He finally says to meet with him on Wednesday night during that next week, and you arrive at his cabin. Do you try to take Theo or Rebecca along? Travers seems a little more like fine than he usually is, like only you.
I would reach out specifically for Theo and not Rebecca, because I'm not particularly sure how the puppies deal with the mages or anything like that. At least for this meeting, but I will have reached out to Theo and see if he's interested in coming along.
Hell yeah, puppies.
No, we're gonna go speak to Travers.
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah, weirdos. Me and Travers have a rivalry. I like him.
He doesn't see it that way, but sure.
I have a rivalry with Travers.
Alright, so Uriah Travers, the Malkavian who thinks he's an abomination, or at least that's what all kindred see the situation as. Who knows? Anyway, He agrees to meet with Bjorn, doesn't make the specific note that he usually does about come alone, and Bjorn arrives at his cabin to see a small light on inside, with Theo in tow.
Approach and just give a solid knock at the door as I normally do.
And you hear him tell you to come in.
Let myself in, and I guess, am I greeted by anything crazy?
Oops, sorry, my mic wasn't working. You can see, like, candles and a fireplace as usual in the cabin, but none of them are lit. He just has electric lights on. It looks like, you know, yeah, he wants those, but he realizes that's not necessarily the smartest thing.
Go ahead and make myself semi at home. Just, walk in and Travers, you know Theo.
I'll just look around and nod. See if I see anything interesting.
Travers gives a solid, emotionless nod at Theo, but keeps his focus on Bjorn. Evening. What was it you needed to speak about?
Well, at this point, I hope that it's not a surprise, or it's not a mystery to you, but I need a meeting with the Lupine.
He gives you a slightly confused look, shakes his head a moment, and then stops, staring at you pretty solidly. I don't understand. Why would you want to meet with them?
Because as you've been reporting to me, Travers, there's been commotion and upset and distrust brewing between us and them, and we need to nip this all in the ass before it gets out of control. We need to just meet the problem head on. The Lupine should appreciate that and get this settled now.
Travers rolls one of his shoulders. Well, you know where they are. Why are you asking me?
I was hoping you had some kind of something a little bit more formal than just walking somewhere I shouldn't, with my dick hanging out saying, "Hey, puppy, puppy, puppy," and hoping that one shows up.
Travers scoots his chair out and starts pacing a bit in the small little kitchen area that the table's seated in, and seems to be thinking for a moment. He stops his pacing and turns to you. I believe I know someone who might be willing to speak if this is regarding the treaty.
And it is.
Right. Well, and he actually kind of straightens his back and looks a little more formal than you're used to seeing him. In that case, I'll have something set up for you, but I need something in return.
Of course, what do you need?
Mardi Gras is coming up.
Correct.
You know most of the kindred in the city? Those who live here anyway.
There's kindred in the city?
Travers
Yes.
basically ignores Theo and walks to a drawer, pulls out a pad of paper and a pen, and starts scribbling silently while facing away. After a few moments, he turns back around, walks up to Bjorn, rips off the piece of paper, and hands it to him. If you look it over, it's basically a majority of the names of permanent residents. It's got Roxy and Lauren, the two gangrel you know. It has, of course, the local Venturan Toreadors, Christopher and Anthony, etc., etc., etc. Most of the people you recognize by name. And after he hands it to you, he says, I need to know if they're involved with any of the crews this year and which ones.
Can I... What do you need this knowledge for?
He gives you kind of a snarled little look with his nose, like that doesn't matter.
Don't play coy, man. What do you need us to get it for? Are your normal ears not working?
It'll be easier for you to get, he says, folding his arms crossly, because none of them like me.
Wonder why.
Enough of that. Sure, I'll get this information for you.
Also, and I'll accept if you can't get it, but I would appreciate if you can... He trails off for a second, thinking how to phrase what he wants to ask, and then comes back with, if you can find out where Father Iago plans to parade this year, Marcel might know. If you can't, I understand. The man is insane anyway.
Who was Father Iago?
Father Iago is... Don't feel like you forgot. I don't think I've really mentioned him heavily, if at all. But Father Iago is notorious for showing up in New Orleans during Mardi Gras. He is a Malkavian, and he is basically a debauchery priest.
Debauchery priest.
Yes. He was believed to have been a priest in his real life before, and his derangements have led him to basically being a black priest. He shows up every Mardi Gras to preach his beliefs, quote-unquote, with a small crew, and Marcel allows him to, provided there is no masquerade breaking and he keeps it relatively civil.
Sorry, I've just been focused on that. What his request was, where Father Iago plans his parade this year.
Yes, he usually makes like an actual stage with upside down crosses covered in blood and fake people, quote unquote, hung on them.
All right, sorry, just writing some notes.
I didn't even write that, by the way. Gotta love White Wolf.
Of course, you can have whatever you want on Father Iago.
Fine. I'll need to speak with her first, but it shouldn't be a problem. She's been interested in sorting more of this treaty business out anyway. Just no one's been very serious about it. So, come back here tomorrow night. I'll get you more details.
Sounds good. And I guess we'll see you then. Are you ready, Theo?
No. Oh yeah. Nah. Yeah, let's go.
And with that, I'll leave out, and once we're a few paces away from his house, I'll just turn to Theo and just be like, the guy's weird. I don't want to push my luck at forcing or requesting him to get a cell phone or anything like that. If you've noticed, he's sensitive about certain issues, and the less I have to push him, the better.
But I don't care. He's the only pile of dirt in this freaking city older than me. I just like, giving the old man a hard time.
I will note, Theo could assume whatever he wants. He's not actually older, he just has his ways.
I don't know, it was like,
Okay.
I wasn't actually saying he was older. He was just being, speaking out of turn for no reason. Whatever, just, I don't know. Why do we have to do him favors to keep his house from burning down? But I guess. Next thing, we're gonna have to go fetch a coin and unlock a door somewhere.
You forgot about the 10 boars you have to slay.
Check their rump sacks. There should be a sword in one. But which one will it be?
Alright.
Duck up, man.
Now, Theo and or Bjorn, since you're in the same room, is there anything else you'd be worrying about this week before the party and or puppies?
No, just, visiting with the two gangrel in the city, making sure that, and anyone else that feel necessary, and make sure just, people understand what's going on. Everyone is clear not to act the fuck up, and yeah.
Alright, then last but not least, for the week before the next weekend in-game, Rebecca. You, I imagine, have a little bit of personal prep you'd be interested in. Can you tell us about that, or anything really you would want to do?
Yeah, so last week she did charge up at her node, or, just take Quint from it. She wants to do the same this week because quintessence is important when you might be in danger. I have no idea how much total she has, and she does give 3 a week to her familiar.
Let me check something. How much does your node give you? I need to do all my homework, but...
No, that's fine. So it is pretty much up to storyteller discretion. In the M20 book, they say if you're running a high fantasy game, like 10 per dot. If you're running the world is ending, like 1 per dot. And they recommend, I think, somewhere around 2 to 3 for like just an average campaign.
Okay, and how often can you take that?
Per week.
I'm going to be generous, actually, because of the setting. Not just generosity, but because New Orleans is bursting with quintessence. That's why it's being fought over between tradition mages, technocracy, and why the werewolf cairns are in trouble is because of all the ley lines and beautiful little bursts of quintessence around here. Per your node, I will give you 3. So you can take up to 6 a week if you go to your node. And then you need to give 3 a week to your familiar, correct? All right,
Yes.
So you will probably need to visit it regularly, like pretty much every week.
He does.
Yeah, but 7 days is a good amount of time. And you can hold 4 right now. So
You can up to 20. So if you have Prime 1, you can hold it more than your avatar rating.
Oh, okay, cool. Alright, well, then let's say we'll start with what you initially put.
Sure.
You defeat your baby, and you got another 3 back, so you're at 4 for now. And then, like, if you don't spend it, then, you can continue building up.
Okay.
If you want to, because I let all the vampires roll, which gave them a chance, I want to give you that much at least. You can roll a d4 and see if you get extra.
Okay.
This music has been going a while, so hold on.
No. No, ma'am.
Yes.
Don't!
Oh, no, I meant numbers, so you get 1 extra.
Oh, okay.
What, that wasn't a success or fail?
Alright, cool.
So you have 5.
Outside of that, there's like a bunch of different roles that or like things that she wants to do as prep for the party itself. It being aura sense, she wants to be able to sense people's impulses. I totally wrote this down because I can't remember things. Oh yeah, a shield obviously for aura in mind, and then she will be trying to imbue people with an aura sense if they don't have one in the group. Obviously temporarily.
You're gonna give us powers?
Yeah, well, I mean for the night.
Superpower.
Very sorry, I was making sure I had audio stuff correct because Roll20 stopped and then I didn't see the green light going for the background music. Just explain that again real quick to me.
Yeah. So basically, like there are a bunch of things that she wants to do, and they're mostly just perception things, other than
Yeah, just go ahead, roll them and explain them. I trust you. Also, I'm less of a mage scrub now.
So,
Been doing my homework.
So the first one would just be like an aura sense. It's just a prime 1. So base 3 plus prime 1 makes a DC of 4. You can see auras. It's like Auspex too.
That's fine. Or this is just for the night.
This is for the party. So many.
So that's 3 based on a 6, or is there?
DC is typically 4. It can be higher if you want it to be. Just so base 3 because coincidental, and then highest sphere used is 1, so it makes a DC of 4.
Okay. That's fine then. You silly mages.
The other one would be an impulse sense, and that's going to be mind 2, so the DC is higher. It's DC of 5. But
Okay.
she wants to read people's impulses throughout the night because she feels like that is a little bit more reliable than trying to read someone's aura.
Okay, go ahead and roll for that.
Ew. So like less. So like 1.
It's still something.
The last one is going to be just a shield for protecting her own mind against, shit like the stuff Zibani can pull.
I can't pull anything.
And that is also mind 1, so the DC is 4 again.
Okay, and that protects your aura, right? Okay.
So just 2.
Okay.
And then until she sees other people, she isn't going. I mean, she wants to imbue them with the ability to see auras at least. Which is mechanically it is mind 2 prime 1.
Okay.
Just using mind magic to connect with someone.
Yeah.
But she will do that at the party itself.
Sure, that makes sense. You had to do that with each person?
That she wants to. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
In the book, it says that you can do it for more people at a time, but she doesn't typically do that. That's like not really her jam.
And for everybody that's new, I am still learning mage, and Hope is our mage expert. So she's like not co-DM, but definitely helping me out with having some mages in the game. I'm working my way up there. A quick question. You have 2 successes under that protection so that you can't have your aura read. Is that beaten if someone has more successes?
Yes, so
Okay,
it just
that's what I figured.
detracts the amount of successes. So if someone has 3 successes, they get it. or it acts as one success. So if it works on like a gradient of success for them.
Yeah. That's what I remembered, so I just wanted to double check. All right, so that basically wraps up what everybody did leading up to the Friday beforehand, which will lead us to.
Do I get a chance?
I did ask you and Bjorn together, but yeah, no, definitely. If you had stuff you wanted to do, go ahead.
Sure. No, I wanted to let Bjorn finish up his thing. I thought you were just gonna call me separate.
Sure.
I'm just trying to think of how to word it correctly. I would probably have like eyes and ears out, listening and talking, but mainly I want to know why just what's planning on happening. So I would probably have ears out about the questions that what's his name asked Bjorn to get. As I'm out and about in the city, since I'm usually pretty involved with Mardi Gras stuff, just because I enjoy it.
In particular, he wanted to know what Mardi Gras cruise the local kindred would be involved with, and then, if possible, he left it as an optional thing. But like, you know, it's that sort of thing. Like, you get him that, then like maybe you even get like something else more in the future. But he wanted to understand or find out where Father Iago might be setting up camp during Mardi Gras.
Yes, but can I do any rolls around my area and my friends to see if anyone knows anything?
Yeah, let me check a sheet.
Because I presume he gave us that list earlier in the week, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you'd probably know which ones I'm in.
You'd assume our crew isn't too difficult to find out.
Your
Yeah.
group is no problem. I feel like some of those on the list are going to be a little bit trickier, especially, say, those in Marcel's house. If they don't have a close connection with you, you probably only know of Roxy and Lauren, the other gangrels, through Bjorn. You probably aren't close with them. So even though they're amenable or amicable, they might not, you know, just like readily speak with you. So let's say
I'm not talking to anyone. I was expecting my allies and stuff to do that.
Well, what I was gonna say was, at least for some of that list, and maybe even Father Iago, you can roll status and see how far you can basically get information out of Marcel. In fact, actually, I'll let you use charisma and status. It's actually a pretty straightforward request of information. It was really, in fact, just that Travers didn't feel comfortable trying to, like, ask people directly, and it'd be a lot more work to do it background-wise. Well, then.
Guess no one's talking to Theo.
Hold on.
We love you, Theo.
Alright, Marcel doesn't mind telling you, and because he knows for a fact that, he's not in a crew this year. He usually isn't, because he doesn't usually bother with that pageantry because he's busy with other things. But he knows that, like, Karen and Joshua, the Toreadors in his household of council, and Christopher and Anthony are going to be in the crew. I'm going to say that wrong. Hold on. No, it's one crew. I just wanted to say it right. Crew Katokana. And it is one of the oldest crews in New Orleans, and it's not Kindred specific, but it was started by Kindred and mostly includes Kindred and ghouls. So it might have some herd, but it's basically going to be people who know Kindred anyway, one way or another. They're not random humans invited. So you find that about his household, which is pretty significant. A lot of the other names on the list are people without station in the town, so you might have to like do a little more digging, but I would say by your understanding, Travers will be pretty happy with that information at least. But nothing on Father Iago. At least as far as Marcel told you, he's not sure where he's going. Alright, so that'll wrap up the kind of downtime week. And actually, let's take a tiny little break. If anyone needs to run... What?
Woo!
Boo.
Boo!
Chicken chaser.
And if you have questions for any of the PCs about themselves or their characters, or for me, I can tell you anything about the city or the plot so far if you are new or forgot something. But I am going to run for a second myself. Go ahead and type anything in the chat though, and we'll be here to answer. Or just talk nonsense for a couple minutes.
Just say it in the mic. What are you doing typing it?
She's gone.
Yeah, he's literally not here anymore.
Well,
Wait,
I
what?
wasn't. Never mind.
I meant the one to Hope.
Oh,
What?
You typed the answer
you
to
typed the answer to Q-Limp when we're
Shut up.
We're
in
right
the
here.
answering the
We're
question
right
answering
No,
phase.
I'm about to go grab a drink. So
Hey,
Well, how
guys.
about don't be a scrub? Hi.
So
How about
let's start with the important question. So we're
Yeah.
gonna kill the Setites, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
I thought that was the important question.
Yeah, I thought that's where he's going to. And anyone who lives in the
Fine.
sewer so dies, correct?
Yes.
Any sewer.
I feel like
No
the
one is
sewer-
allowed to dwell in sewers,
I
and
feel like the sewer system of New Orleans cannot be that big. It is too fucking swampy for a real sewer system.
that's probably true.
Like sewers in San Antonio are fucking garbage because everything just like San Antonio's a giant bowl. Anytime it rains, everything floods.
Did I just accidentally close Zoom?
Probably. No, I see you.
Nope. Yeah, if
there
you
should be an
try and
icon top right, presumably.
Yeah, top right
It's
is where
one
usually
person's,
where it
camera?
minimizes.
Oh, there it is. I'm an
There
idiot.
it is.
You're not an idiot. You're just inexperienced.
Uh,
Be
cool.
gentle.
It's whiskey, not scotch, tonight.
Here's the very important question: is there an E in that word? The stuff you're drinking.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's the Jameson I was drinking last week.
Cool.
Did you
I'm
go
just
out
drinking
and
water
get
tonight.
your?
Nope.
stuff?
Weren't
No?
any there. Weren't none.
You fucked up.
No, my wife fucked up. I'm gonna fuck her up.
And you didn't send her out to go get more or nothing.
There weren't none left. And that makes me exceedingly sad.
Yeah, I'd imagine those sewers during Mardi Gras get pretty fucking gross. Because I know the road.
Like, if there are very big sewers. Because
Whereas,
I really feel like it would be difficult for sewers to exist in New Orleans because of how swampy the area is. Like there'd be no real ground infrastructure to like really put stuff.
So, Bonnie, what do you want me to tell you about Benedict?
I don't know.
I mean, eventually I'll write a whole book on him, but...
What are Abraham's goals beyond the immediate concerns about lupines and technocrats? Play the stocks and kind of just, like... He likes to take things as they come. He is pretty laid back, and he'll solve a problem as it comes, but I don't really think he has too much in the way of, like, political aspirations. He doesn't... Like he's got enough money that if he needs to become political, he can do it pretty quickly, but he doesn't care. He enjoys his city. Yeah, it's just... He doesn't really have any goals. His goals are continue playing with his puppies, keep up to date with the current trends, in like entertainment trends. That's basically it. He's pretty chill.
Modi, why are you drinking water on a Tuesday?
It could be vodka.
Okay, got you.
I mean, it's still water, but...
Okay, yeah, the question stands.
because I was feeling really tired. I had to end up working late tonight, and I was feeling really tired on my way home, and I drank the rest of the alcohol or beer in the house, and I really wanted beer, and I just couldn't find the energy to go stop at the grocery store and pick some up.
By the way, since we have a pretty heavy, if not entirely VTM friendly audience, I don't think there's too many people here that are like, what's this? What are your what is your favorite clan to play? If you don't have a specific favorite, just, you know, maybe name like the last one you really had fun with.
Your best friend.
I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, Barrel Dragons. I found the challenge. I found the Lost Woods, but I'm only at like 9 hearts or 10 hearts. I still got a couple more to go.
I don't think I've like found a clan. I'm like, ugh, yes, this clan is legit. Like, I think it's usually the character I make that I find more enjoyable than the clan itself. You asked us a question of what was our favorite clan, correct?
I was asking the audience, but definitely, I mean, we're still sitting here. We can't have dead air, you know. I always have the problem as being ST when people ask me that. I'm a little bit like, oh, but like you can have fun as any of them depending on the character you make. But if
your favorite,
well, yeah, I was gonna get to that. I would say it's a little bit more like a soft spot. I just love my Nazis. But I can really have fun playing just about anything. I could, like, any clan, I know them, I feel so well that I could, like, just take any clan and make something I'd have fun with. Some can actually be a little trickier. I did make a Malkavian in Henley's game. If anybody doesn't watch Henley, check his channel out. He's a good role player, streamer. Does variety too. He's pretty cool. I'm in a VTM game on his channel that's been a little dead for a while. We're working on the schedule, but I made a Malkavian, and they're super fun, but they're definitely difficult to play. Not only because you want to play the derangement right, but it's difficult to balance a derangement that's not too difficult to play and can even like be a challenge for everybody else in the group, because you have your problem that causes problems for everybody else, or too easy and it feels like, well, do you really have a derangement because it never shows up? So you got to find that nice balance, something that gives you issues and causes problems, but you can still function for the most part.
I think Nazi is going to be my next one to try out.
They're fun.
It was going to be my first one, and then everyone's like, it's your first time playing VTM. You can't play Nosferatu.
Yeah. I hate to be the person of like, when you start playing VTM, no, you can't play this clan, but there are definitely ones that it helps if you get to know the story better. Like, if you read the whole core book and their clan book before you walked up to a game, you'd probably be okay. But if you like to dive in, like a lot of people do, like I want to learn as I play, certain clans are better to start off with.
Shit.
So the next game that you run, Spira, I'm pretty sure that I think I'm going to bring myself around to play a gargoyle.
Oh fuck! Yeah, I said Nosferatu, but I meant to say.
Try and convince me of that.
No, we're all going to play gargoyles.
No, we're all gonna play mummies in a Vampire the Masquerade.
I'm gonna play a gargoyle mummy. So
You guys can
Thank
play
you.
mummies. I'll play a gargoyle.
Snowflake.
All right. Here's the thing. If everybody agreed they wanted to be gargoyles, I might play a short game specifically about a
Talking
clan
to
of
the bunnies back and you can't be that excited.
a coterie of gargoyles that were freed from the Tremere and had to find.
no. If we were all gonna play gargoyles, Hope wouldn't play one because she's too
Yeah.
much of a snowflake. She would
Yeah,
have to find something else.
No, she would
I
still
would
play a mage.
I would play a Ventru.
She would play a hunter, like just
No. She'd play a Vosed.
Thank you.
No, what would be the most snowflakey is if she played a Tremere that somehow became friends with these gargoyles after they were freed. No, I'm a good Tremere.
Feels
No,
so
obviously,
packed right
obviously,
now.
this Tremere is the one that helped them escape.
No, I mean, like, it actually story-wise could work, but it would feel snowflakey.
I feel so attacked right now. By the
Oh, that's-
ST, I am attacked.
No, that would actually be really fun. Like, as a
I
wild
still-
concept, it sounds fun. Also,
I'm kidding,
Pazuzu
baby
brought
girl.
up a good point that gargoyles can turn people. They just don't. It's not really, like, in their nature, I don't think.
Yeah. There's nothing specifically like that says they don't embrace.
Actually,
They just
some of the canon stuff I've read about them is they have like a drive to embrace like a couple times because they want a family, but it's not like the way that vampires have this, or the rest of Kindred kind of have this like driving thing that they miss humanity in a way, or they fall in love with a human and like need to keep them forever, especially the Toreador style. But Gangrel usually make like a couple and then stop there and just like never do it again.
so
I
So-
maintain that
Gargoyle,
if we
sorry.
run an all gargoyles, I want to play the one Kiasid.
I want to play. Or can we name our characters Brooklyn and Hudson?
Yes, haha,
Okay,
Zabani.
as a side note, one Joe, Ultramere best Tremere, but more to who I was actually going to reference, Deadly Inhale and Q-Limp. You will be interested to see the D&D campaign that I'm running, because you're talking about snowflakes. Literally every single character in my game is a snowflake. I don't have a single regular human, elf, dwarf, halfling, gnome. Everyone's a half-breed or a weird semi-monstrous race or something crazy.
I disagree. I mean, there's enough Genasi cities for me to establish.
You're a fucking snowflake.
I mean, aren't we all?
Yes.
And you have to be a snowflake because of how I'm starting the campaign. Like, I saw all these snowflake concepts and I was like, all right, cool. This is going to be relevant to the plot. Because there's no way this many weird motherfuckers would show up in the same party unless someone was looking for them, or, you know, or they gathered or something like that.
Alright, well, looks like Elvish needs maybe another minute. Hasn't come back just yet. We'll get the party started. Hey. But we'll go the other direction first then. Bjorn, you go and see Travers the next night, and he informs you of a meeting place. Actually, I have a note where it is. Hold on.
Oh my god, a party that says Tremere, a gargoyle, a salubri, and a samishi. Oh.
Just throw a Ravnos in there for fun.
Yeah.
No, throw money.
And an Asimite. Because the Tremere cursed the Asimite.
Well, Deadly Inhaled, don't all good games start with
I was
you all
just
walk
thinking
into a
of that.
bar?
Alright, so there is a small section of the St. John Bayou that is considered territory for the Lupines. There is a lot of development along it, and a lot of homes and houses and old mansions and things like that, but there's still a lot of kind of natural land as well. And he directs you to a small area that's further away from the actual homes and buildings, and tells you that at 9 p.m. this coming Friday, a young woman should meet you by the name of Maria. She is a young Hispanic woman, and you'll recognize her just by a simple description, kind of tan skin, darker hair, tends to wear several layers of clothing and a mix of jewelry, is the description he gives you. And he says that he's fine with waiting on more of the information about the cruise. He knows it's close to Mardi Gras, so most people have already picked, selected, and gotten ready with their cruise, but he doesn't really need the information for another week. What's up, Theo?
Did Bjorn give it to him? Did Bjorn find out
Find out what?
the info?
Let me check.
Because I didn't give it to him. I never said that I gave the information to him.
No, Travers was saying he could wait.
I know, but I didn't give him anything. Or maybe I'll give him the wrong groups.
Travers wasn't asking for that information yet.
No, okay. You said that he was happy with what we got, and I was like, I didn't give him shit.
I said he probably would. You could tell that knowing where the prince's people were was better than some of the riffraff.
I didn't tell either way.
I didn't say... Anyway, so Travers said that he's fine on getting some of that information a little bit later, but tells you where to go and meet Maria on Friday night. So, Bjorn, now that you have this information, you can verify with Theo, who you can go and meet at what time. And then, of course, Rebecca. I know this is ST, but you still seem potentially back and forth on whether you prefer to go to the party or go puppy hunting.
Are they happening at the same night?
Yeah. 'Cause easy for me.
She will go to the party.
All right. In that case, Rebecca, you've gotten to know more of the coterie here forthwith. Would you contact any of them specifically to try and follow up on the party?
Yeah, she would.
All right. Who would you try and contact? I think you got Dinah's number at least.
Maybe? I mean, if not, she'll just ask Theo for all the numbers.
We'll say we say you at least have her number. You know,
but,
she was the one organizing it.
Really, she will just contact them one at a time and ask if they have any means of being able to figure out who is what.
Who is what? What do you mean? Like, who's gonna be where?
Rebecca is going to slyly ask Abraham, Luther, and Dinah if you'll be able to spot what you're looking for during the party.
Is she asking through text message?
Let's say yeah.
My answer is no.
My answer is yes.
Such a terse group.
However, I'm curious. What did you have in mind?
Does Abraham answer?
Oh, you messaged me as well.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to the party, right? It's
I am going to the
Theo
party.
and Bjorn on the puppy hunt.
Yeah, I am going to the party.
She'll ask you.
And
oh wait,
yeah.
shit! No, she wouldn't ask you because
Yeah, I was like, that's why I was a little surprised. That's why I wasn't.
Yeah, no. Sorry, that's super fair. That's my bad. Yeah, she will text back Luther and say, "Save me a dance."
Man, he wouldn't text like Roland, so there's no emojis involved. But he'll send back. It'll be my pleasure.
Sure, he doesn't throw a couple hundreds at the end there.
Yeah, with the little like flame emojis.
He's a little bit classier than what Clementine taught Roland to text as. So there's no like winky face, kissy face emojis.
And then, sorry, Dinah said that she was curious, right? She will text back nothing with about 5 O's.
Mm-hmm. MHM. Send.
Nothing.
But that's about the end of their correspondence. Like, she's not going to respond back.
All right. So the night of the party, Dinah, of course, is there plenty early as early as she can for the evening, but otherwise had her couple herd members, including Heather, and her other herd member, and a couple ghouls she hired, working to make sure everything's in order. She shows up as early as she can to do her part in making sure things are the way she would like. And then Luther, Abraham, and Rebecca will show up about the same time. And if anyone still wants to poke Rebecca about that question, you'll all arrive at the bar that is full of a few people, the bartenders, the musicians, and everything, but otherwise has a crowd kind of queuing outside.
What time is it?
It'll be about 8 o'clock now, and the full party was gonna open at 9.
Are we setting up like decorations or something, or what are we in the middle?
Well, that's what all of the humans, the herd and the ghouls, were doing. Dinah was, executively making sure everything was in order. And Luther, you had your little set of toys to bring.
For sure. Yeah, I guess I'd be setting up the auction and museum look-see-loo kind of areas for people to look at in the back room.
Yes, so it is a smaller bar. You wanted to gather supernaturals, but also not make a giant scene. So it's probably a bar that could hold about 100 easily, pushed to 150. There's a small kind of balcony second floor, not a full second floor. There is a mix of seats and booths off to the side, large bar, nice old wooden stage for the bands to play on, with a bit of a DJ's booth on the side for people to play music when there isn't live entertainment. And then, yes, sort of a small VIP back room, which is where Luther can go ahead and get all of the occult items set up in a little bit of a museum-style auction.
Awesome. Yep. I'll be setting that up in the little room area.
I'm actually going to as I approach this crowd that's building out front, as I come, I'm gonna turn on Auspex and I'm gonna wait in the crowd. I'm gonna try and read auras and see who's going, start listening to, eavesdropping in.
Very
See if I
nice.
can find anybody talking about anything interesting.
All right.
Because I don't have
What's he wearing?
aura. Very like
It's
I'm
generic
wearing
Mardi
what-
Gras, right?
very, very just generic Mardi Gras. I imagine like one of those canes that you get from like CVS, but like with like purple tape around it, so it looks a little bit more Mardi Gras.
Beautiful.
All right, just checking your sheet. So, you just want to use like Auspex 2?
I want to use Auspex 1 to listen in, but I also want to
Okay.
use Auspex 2 to see if I can, find any supernaturals I don't recognize, and just keep an eye on them from the beginning.
Okay. Now, Auspex 1, if you're using heightened hearing, yeah, you'll be able to like hear conversations. Go ahead and give me perception alertness, and you get difficulty 5 because you took eavesdropping as a specialty.
Yay! I just realized I closed out my my character sheet, so give me 1 second on that.
Nice.
Like, I had it and then said, nah, I'm good. You said perception alertness 5?
Yeah. For your listening in on the conversations.
Oh. I mean, it's a success, but oh.
All right. All right, so I'm actually going to do it in a specific order that you're listening in on the crowd. Like I said, there's a decent queue already. Even like a good 30 minutes before the party's supposed to start. Maybe at least 35, 40 people. A lot of them look like they're in pairs, at least, like couples or small groups of friends. You can kind of tell because they're facing each other. As you kind of walk up and down, like maybe giving the air of a bouncer or someone with the party, just looking at the crowd.
I am giving the air of a party goer. Like, I am
So
part
just
of the line. Yeah, I want to filter in with other people.
you came from the other side and you're just looking for the end. Okay.
Yep.
So you're just casually walking along, trying to listen in on these conversations. It just kind of sounds like... Actually, you know what? I was trying to do this a certain way for a certain reason, but let me get your Auspex roll as well. No, wait. Oh, God damn it. That's what it is. Auspex is actually targeted. So...
Auspex is targeted?
Yeah, when you're trying to read a specific aura in a crowd. I think I did that wrong previously. My bad. I was rereading some stuff. Well, actually, what I'll usually do is if you get a lot of successes, I would just say you can read a room, but if you only get like one, it should be at least targeted. All right, so you walk along. You hear, because this was a targeted crowd, talk about the occult. People are sound excited about the items, things like that. I will actually say, with one success, you notice a couple of people in particular that are talking very lively about the occult items that are supposed to be up for auction. So go ahead and give me your Auspex roll, which is perception and empathy against 8.
So I already got 4. I intended to add a willpower before I did that, and I'm not going to take it back because I got a good roll. I intended to add a willpower before I did this, so...
That's okay. We are switching it up from my previous ruling, which was from a different system, I think, so we'll all get used to it. 5
So that
successes.
would be 6 successes because I wanted to do a willpower, and I'm not going to take it back just because I know I already succeeded.
Okay. All right, 6. Then let's say, give me another perception alertness roll then.
Still difficulty 5, or is this one a 6?
5.
There we go. That's more like what I wanted.
All right. The small group you keyed in on, talking about cult items and things like that, who seemed really excited, absolutely kindred. It was very, very clear. You saw the excitement in their aura, the bright colors and all of that, but it was also, in its own way, very pale. You knew immediately these were kindred. So that was, you just, blew that off, whatever. You kept walking down the line. Your aura perception was so heightened by your interest and focus on trying to find anything that stood out, and you're passing these plain auras, obviously humans or ghouls or whatever else, and some pale ones, whatever. But just as your perception begins to fade, you, out of the corner of your eye, notice 2 humans that seem a little bored standing in line, which stands out to you just by, like,
why would you be here if...
Mm-hmm. They don't even seem that excited to be at the club. And just as your supernatural perception begins to fade, you feel like you don't even really see a clear aura around them. You don't even see, like, a good color. It seems just pale in general, not a pale color, just like kind of nothing around them. And then you realize, as you kind of glance around, that your perception's faded anyway, and you can join the queue.
Yeah. Then I will keep an eye on them as casually as I can.
All right, Luther is in the back getting the occult little auction set up. Dinah's running around. You see Heather and her crew show up.
I see Heather and her crew show up?
Both of you would, because they're going to, be moving from the back entrance in with all of their instruments and everything.
And if I was to remember who Heather was, I would go like, oh yeah, Heather is...
one of Dinah's
she's a drummer.
herds.
She's one of my herds, yeah.
You've probably seen her around, though.
Yeah.
You probably met her maybe once. I don't know. You wouldn't have to remember her. You don't interact with her on a regular basis.
If I'm friends with you and she's part of your herd, I'm assuming I would be in pretty close relations with her, maybe? Like, I at least...
I don't know. Yeah, no, you do hang around a lot of my stuff. Yeah, no, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Heather is a cute, younger, skinnier white girl with short hair. Has a bit of a slightly spastic energy, but otherwise, like, kind of has herself together. She is towing in instruments and making sure everything's set up along with the rest of her crew of the Callaways, her band. Dinah totally asked me to say him again, but you know that there is Jackson and Gray. They're on guitar, Leia on bass, Pierre on trumpet, and John on vocals. So a nice little crew. You can let me know if you feel like any of those sound like herd members
That
as
sounds
well.
fine. Yeah, no, that's fine. Not all of them will be,
Yeah.
but maybe a couple of them are. Yeah.
And like you definitely knew all of them because when she mentioned, said like my crew from this band, you were like, oh yeah, all of them are good. So they finished setting up Heather, as she's one of your herd, but a little closer to you, even more personally. Kind of scoots up as everything's being finalized with the music setup, and just, hey Dinah, is everything all right? Everything good for the night?
Everything looks like it's good. We just got to do a basic sound test before we let everybody in. That's what I like about you, honey. You always seize your moment, as it were.
Yeah, I like to be told where to be and what to do, and that's that.
Sure thing. Audio's dead.
Yay.
Really? God damn it.
I was trying to say it, but my mouth was full.
There we go.
I swear it's actually my mouse button this time. It's just being sensitive about when I press it.
You're not.
No, it's showing up now.
Yeah, you showed up right when you said really.
Yeah. Okay. Rebecca shows up, and you'll see Luther setting up the last of the occult items. There are some ritual tools, simple ones. You'll see a shrunken head that you recognize as Theo's work, a gree bag that has markings of a healing item, and a ring that he had showed you previously, old metal, not rusted, but like has some like wear to it, and a very dark gem in it that you remember when he showed it to you, you just felt the uncomfortable feeling of mixed up magic on it. Like you didn't even want to touch it.
Okay. She will have brought Theo's gree bag that he gave her last time.
You have to get another. Only lasts a day.
It only lasts a day? Well, then she didn't bring shit.
I mean, you could have asked him for one. He would have given it to you.
Yeah, if you want to say that you met up with him earlier before the party to be prepared, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean...
It's no skin. Well...
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's a little skin, but
but yeah, it's in her purse, which she is, like, really uncomfortable holding right now.
Alright, either Rebecca or Theo, can you explain what the gree bag does again?
It's a combo discipline that, when ingested, is super gross, and the longer you have it ingested, the more dead you start looking. However, it does give you my fort as soak. So even as a human, she gets vampire soaking.
So that is a cyanide pill and a half kind of
But
a
yeah,
deal.
but like
Disgusting,
you,
bro.
you have to eat part of Theo,
You
so
have to
you know
eat
that's a
his
problem.
skin. So
What? I bathe.
it's like the scene in that one Austin Powers movie, but no one's laughing. Well, I guess it's just like that scene in that Austin Powers movie then.
I love that scene.
How you gonna burn people like that?
Oh man.
It might have better.
Everyone finishes setting up for the party. Bouncers are out front, ghouls at the bar. Everybody is prepared to avoid Masquerade breaking, but also show a good time for everybody who showed up. Heather's band, the Callaways, get up on stage. Curtain drawn for now. They wait till the bar actually fills. But it doesn't take very long. All the crowd outside fills in. More and more people show up by the minute, waiting for the 9 o'clock time frame. And the party gets rolling. Now, Dinah, I believe you wanted to try and search the crowd as well.
Yes, I did. While I am on the stage, even if I don't sing the first number, I'm at least off the stage, but looking out, onto it. So, and at the crowd. So yes, I need to roll aspects.
Well, actually, you also knew that Abraham was kind of checking the outside crowd. So if you want to ask him if there's anyone to keep an eye on.
Yes. Can I? I do have mental telepathy, and I think he does too, so I think I can do that. So.
Oh, yeah, goddamn. I keep forgetting you guys are older now. Telepathy is fucking nice.
The roll for that is.
1 second. I have it around here.
Okay, so I'm just gonna, before we worry about the rolls, I'm not gonna respond because I know that mages can fuck with telepathy. So I'm not gonna respond. I will text you when you call me. Or when you think at me, I will text you back.
For Elvish, then, it is intelligence and subterfuge against his willpower.
Okay. Intelligence and subterfuge against his willpower. Okay.
Oh,
Which
that's
is
not good.
Rough. I've got a lot of willpower. I am a very willful individual.
Hey, you know what I don't have is willpower. I purposely did that. I have 4 willpower, and I did that on purpose. All right.
This is gonna be a no botch roll, but yeah, he's got 10 willpower.
I was actually close there. I was actually close.
Goddamn, right?
Fuck.
All right.
Whatever. It's fine.
Dinah tries to reach out to Abraham. Feels a block. Just can't seem to get through to him. There's a lot of people in the club, a lot of minds, and a lot of things going on, and he seems to just have a bit of a mental block anyway. Abraham, what did you do?
What did I do in regards to what?
You just rolled.
I accidentally pressed the enter button. That's what I did.
Okay. It's like, tell me what you're doing when you roll things, please. Okay.
Fucking things up. That's what I'm doing. Causing.
All right. So Dinah, you realize you can't reach out to him that way.
I mean, I'm waiting to perform. I don't have my phone ready to text. I'm wearing a dress with no pockets. I'm not gonna stick my phone in my boobs before I go out on stage.
All right. If you want to try and do the same thing that Abraham did by using alertness to find anyone suspicious and then checking their auras, you can roll.
Sure. Yeah, we'll do that.
All right. Perception alertness.
Okay.
Actually, you can roll awareness. I wanted to do alertness with Abraham because he was looking for attitudes, but you actually have a somewhat keen awareness.
Only 2.
Okay. You look out on the crowd, and it's a little hard to spot anything special because, you get like just kind of this overall washing feel of there are a lot of supernaturals in the place, and you're expecting there's probably a lot of kindred anyway. But I'll say, like, in this one direction, there's two different couples that feel a little different. You're not very sure. There's a guy and a girl, younger couple that seem to be talking quite close and intimately, and then another two that look a little bit aloof.
Okay.
Which ones would you like to check?
We'll do the ones that look aloof first.
The two, they're just wearing like kind of casual clothing, like, simple dark jeans and button-down tops. The two that are speaking very close, like, so that they can hear each other over the rest of the chatter, are like practically like arm in arm, like, just like faces very close, speaking together.
Okay. I do need to do aspects on that.
I need a slight direction at least. I see you, Hope. Don't worry, I see you. Okay, what did you want, Hope, in case it's important?
I don't know. I wanted to do something before this thing got in full swing, so I didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Alright, because you were in the back. You are out in the front then if you want. Before it gets too crazy.
Just as soon as the music starts, she is going to ask Luther to dance.
Okay, the place is filling up, so the music hasn't just started just yet.
I'll dance with
okay.
music, though. That's fine. You don't need music to do this.
But she does want to talk to him. I mean, preferably as soon as she can, because she wants to help him.
Sure. This is all in this second anyway, because it's just Dinah's perception rolls. So,
no, that's fine. Sorry, I didn't know exactly how far into the party we were getting, and I was like, wait.
Nope, people are still just kind of like filling into the club after the doors opened. So, Dinah, did you prefer one couple or the other?
The aloof ones.
Okay. Go ahead and roll Auspex then. It's perception, empathy against 8.
Empathy, okay. Ugh, 1.
Alright, not that
plan
you
is not going so good.
not that you knew this, but similar description as I gave Zabani to where his alertness was even fading. It seems like they've got pale auras, but there's not even really like a color to it. It just seems like kind of a little bit of an absence in the air around them. Compared with the other humans, ghouls, and vampires in the club. So that definitely kind of stands out.
I'm gonna keep my eye on them, I guess.
Alright, and Rebecca, you wanted to do something before things got a little too wild?
Go and talk to Luther.
Well, go on and do that, girl.
Hey Luther, what you doing right now? Like, you're finishing setting up? Are you sitting? What's the...
I am just probably like being really anal about like the lighting and how it's hitting certain items, and just like I'm not paying attention to anyone walking in. I'm like purely focused on this and probably thinking about like how I'm going to introduce Dinah later on. But yeah, standing.
You the master MC.
For sure.
Yeah, no, she'll walk up. Those are definitely lights. They look like they're doing their job, so...
Oh,
good job.
Thank you, Rebecca. And how is your night going?
I don't know. We'll see. But you said that you can't really see anything at the party for yourself?
Well, aren't we just being cryptic? Yeah. I'm not. I know everyone sees my house that I am from, and they think that I have that kind of power, but it's a little bit against what I believe in. So I never really indulged in learning it.
Your house has this kind of power?
To see the Toreadors, yeah, usually can see people like you were asking about earlier.
Okay. Would you be all right with having it for the night?
Okay, it's for a cause. I'm not. It'll kind of stop me from gambling, I guess. But how does it work? How can you even give me this power to begin with?
I'm just really great. Like I'm really great.
That you are. That you are. I. Well, give me a rundown of how it works then.
Sure. I'm going to say something, and I don't want you to take it the wrong way.
Oh, well, all right. Let's roll those dice then. Let's see how this works.
We're going to dance, and you're going to share that experience with me, and then I'm going to share a visual experience with you.
Okay then. We will dance, and you will share something with me, and then we'll. But like afterwards, like let's say this works or whatever, and you give me this gift. What am I looking for? What am I? What are these technocrats going to look like?
Oh, well, Abraham said it pretty well recently at Theo's house. You look for something sparkly, or you look for something that just isn't anything.
All right, something sparkly or nothing. I'll look out for those.
Sounds good.
Well, come and grab me whenever you're ready. I'll be waiting. And he'll give a little wink. A little wink.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's no music, so we can wait until there's that, or we can just. It's going to be awkward and really quiet.
He'll kind of grin and look around, and he'll do a very overly he'll tip and hand out his hand. He's ready to do this now. He doesn't care about awkwardness. He's been around for years.
Okay. Yeah. Then she'll get in there.
Well, I mean, I'm always a man of the waltz, but if you have a different dance in mind, I'm open.
No, waltz is fine. I haven't waltzed since middle school. Let's waltz.
Well, it's that or the sock hop, so your choice. And yeah, we'll dance.
Hey, Spira, let me roll a thing.
Do I roll for dances, Spira?
That's not what I'm rolling for.
I'm joking.
Okay, to answer SCB first, you don't have to roll for dancing unless you really want to be impressive, which could fail. So it's up to you. If you just want to dance moving my body, you're good. If you want to roll and show off some moves, it would be dexterity and performance.
Nope, I'm good.
Nope. All right, and Hope, what did you want to roll?
A magical thing, so that way I can give him aura sight for the evening.
Nice. All right, go ahead and do that.
Sure. So mechanically, it is prime 1 plus mind 2.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't want this to fail.
That depends on willpower.
Can I channel it throughout the duration of the dance?
Yes, because I'm gonna say it's gonna be a few minutes dance for the first song anyway.
It is in some way ritualistic, like a ritual for her.
Well, yeah, you're a cult of ecstasy, so dancing, absolutely.
Right. Alright, so turn 1 of this. So highest sphere involved is 2. That makes the DC 5.
Okay. Nice. Alright, but you basically gave Luther 3 when you dance. At the moment, we're going to be switching scenes, though. Alright, so on the other side of town, more or less.
Why did you have to put on foreboding music for us?
No reason.
Because everything's gonna go great.
Well, you know, if it makes you feel better, I don't look like a vampire.
I mean, I don't either.
Do
I don't
werewolves
know.
do aura, or I thought they sniff?
It depends. So, okay, well, Modi knows more than me, but what I was at least reading up earlier was they can have different levels of awareness, and they also have gifts like sense magic or sense worm, which you could be tainted by the worm just by being something nasty. At least Werewolf 20th anniversary verified that if you are a vampire of 7 humanity or higher, you don't show worm. So you can get away if you're higher humanity as a vampire, but lower, which a lot of you are by 1 or 2.
That's the face of innocence, Elvish.
No, I was gonna say
true
basically
innocence.
that all werewolves have really good sense of smell and things like that, but
Yes.
like it's like aspects that sense things is like aspects. Some of them have the gift, some don't, and it's kind of the same. They get awareness stuff. So
the benefit of them only having or them not all having that specific gift is potentially sneaking through territories without one of them like just happening to get like spidey sense tingling, like something's here. But anyway, as I mentioned, Bjorn, you were told by Travers that there is a
Can I hear you?
Yeah, I just saw that, and I don't know what they missed because I think it's actually my mouse buttons, not. I don't have big meaty claws like my husband, so I feel like I'm not pressing it hard enough sometimes.
Or maybe he presses it too hard and it's broken.
Who knows?
Oh.
Oh, someone else heard it all. Okay, anyway, moving on. Important part. We were just discussing what werewolves could sense, and the short answer is a lot. So moving on, Bjorn, you were told that there would be a young woman named Maria who would meet you in this certain part along St. John's Bayou in New Orleans. Picture should be one of the more nature-esque portions of the bayou. It's actually a pretty nicely developed area, unfortunately, even though Lupins want to keep it as their territory. Again, one of the reasons they're getting upset. So you are aware of where to go. And Theo is in tow. I would like to hear the conversation up to that point.
have I ever told you about the time that I spent in France? Now let me tell you about the French people. They are fantastic. Have you ever been to France?
Theo's going to start getting lowered to the ground and turn into a dog.
Seriously?
He'll just bark.
Anyway, so what was I saying about France? So there's this specific port in Marseille that I would love. Beautiful little town. I mean, I'm sure it's changed 20 times since, I drew breath, but the women there were fantastic. And he'll just continue rambling on as we're walking around because the dog can't say stop.
No, my tail is just down. I'm just like, Then I'll stand back up. I'll probably just get back up. I think it might be rude if I showed up like a dog.
I only want to note, Protean 4, to turn into your dog form, just takes 3 turns. It doesn't otherwise need a roll. But if you do want to say use mask on top to not look like zombie dog, that is a roll. So just let me know if you ever want both of those at the same time.
So the Semitic flaw goes through Protean as well?
I don't think there's any precedent to note it, but I'm going to say yes, because it is a very strong flaw.
Not to mention, Kozark has been saying, I want to be a zombie dog, so he chose that it went through.
He brought it up, and I went, yeah, you know what? You're not going to get to just be a pretty little dog as a Semitic. No cute little, chow chows or teddy Pomeranians for you.
The ugliest dog anyone has ever seen.
That's not true. Don't just rain on his parade.
Do not. No, never mind. I'll be good for now.
Bjorn's scald nature, or demeanor at least, overtakes him and tells this long story to Theo. Theo disappears as a dog, jokingly, then comes back.
Like I said, I think it might be rude to show up as a dog to the dogs.
Might be a little too on the nose, yes.
You think we should have bought goats? Do they eat goats? Did I tell you I got a bunch of goats?
Why do you have a herd of goats?
How many? It's like 7. That's not a herd, is it?
I don't know. I've never been a shepherd. What? I don't know.
What? Isn't that what you hill people do? Sheep or something? I don't know.
No, we just simply pillage other people for their goods. We never do anything of our own.
Sheep are good. Come on. No, well, no, that's right. I was going to the goats for the party. They wanted devil goats. And the lady who sold me the goats said all goats have the devil in them. So I bought a bunch, but is it like that movie Jurassic Park? Do they just do you leave the goat out on the leash and that? Never mind.
I mean, we could always try. Where is said goat? Did you bring it with you? I don't see it.
Oh yeah, it's one of those newfangled invisible goats, Invisigoat.
Here, I was hoping they'd bred them to be pocket-sized at this point.
That's actually a fair point.
The kind do have a fetish these days with shrinking and miniaturizing everything.
As you two walk along the path, so as you are walking along the bayou path, and you both have very high alertness and other senses, you both notice 2 people not too far ahead of you at this point as you've been chatting, and Bjorn, you can even kind of make out that one of them sitting on the ground is a younger Hispanic-looking woman. The person next to her is a tall, average weight, but seems a bit built. He's wearing a hoodie, so it's a little hard to tell, but definitely has a little bulk around his chest. Basically, incredibly cropped, or very, very short cropped hair, nearly shaved off. Man standing behind her, but standing with, his arms on his sides, kind of a little bit on his hips, looking kind of annoyed, but staring off.
Seeing as the woman vaguely meets the description that Travers gave me. I'll go ahead and approach. Hands specifically not in my pot. I guess that really doesn't matter, but hands kind of out, looking as nonchalant as I can, and approach them with just a good evening.
The young woman looks up and starts to stand. She doesn't seem startled at all, as if she was just waiting until you really reached a more appropriate distance to the two of them. So she stands from where she was sitting. The man is standing there, continues to kind of just stare off, almost ignoring you, but gives one quick, harsh glance in your direction and then returns to look at the bayou. The woman, after she stands, starts walking a couple feet. She seems welcoming, but hesitant, like a Bjorn, especially since you've been through actual wars. You understand this as a greeting of a enemy side. Being cordial, but not friendly, exactly.
I take it from your reactions, you are the two that we're looking for tonight, correct?
The young woman has kind of slumberous, just almost bored, but playful look on her face. You know, it's a little bit between different emotions. She gives half a smile and says, Maria, and you're Bjorn, I believe?
Yes, I'm Bjorn, and this is my associate, Theo.
I mean, last I checked. Could have changed, never know.
Is Theo using mask at all?
No point in hiding.
Alright.
Unless we're in, like, a public place where I would be worried about being seen.
Yeah, kinda. There are houses and boats go by.
He would have Thanatos himself to be more presentable. He would look off, definitely, upon close inspection, but...
So very gross old guy.
Well, he can loosen his skin. Yeah, he does his best version of a quick 5-minute makeup session.
Okay. I would like... 1 second, I want to check your sheets. I'd like perception occult rolls from both of you. 6, because at least for Theo, it doesn't involve your voodoo specialty.
Been rolling so many D6s and whatnot for the other game, I'm almost forgetting how to roll D10s. Whew. Alright, just 5 successes.
It's no big deal. And, what is, Bjorn wearing shirt-wise?
See, it's the Medal of Night, so he would have a, just a typical t-shirt with a, thin flannel thrown over top, just to give the appearance of wearing something longer against the cool of the evening, jeans, hiking boots, the usual. The visible tattoos will be the more Scandinavian or Nordic ones, the knot work and whatnot running along. That's the only thing visible from the neck up.
Okay. Alright, you both got pretty good successes. The guy, as I mentioned, is just kind of wearing like a very thick black hoodie, and dark jeans. It seems almost as if like he's just wore whatever would cover his body and be comfortable. The girl, however, has a slightly more like bohemian kind of rock chic outfit, you know, nice blouse and blazer, and tight-fitting kind of like loose, or tight-fitting but like trousery kind of pants with nice boots. But what really stands out to both of you is she's wearing a few necklaces along with several ear piercings. Some of the necklaces have symbols that you can kind of tell look occultic or pagan or culturally relevant. You're actually not exactly sure what they are. There's some stars and things. You don't know what they mean, but you can kind of tell what they're referencing. One thing that definitely stands out, especially for Bjorn, I'd say Theo, you get a sense of it, but Bjorn, you would definitely recognize a winged serpent pendant on one of her necklaces. It's the largest pendant of what she's wearing, and at least from, say, Mexican mythology, and she does look Mexican or at least Hispanic, you might think Quetzalcoatl, or just really any of the Native American ideas of serpent gods. So she's wearing that around her neck.
Sounds good.
So she just, confirmed that you're Bjorn, and you had responded.
Yeah, I said I'm Bjorn, and this is my associate Theo.
Theo's just kind of like a smile to himself and nod, like not holding his hand out. And sure you won't want my smell all over you.
Maria gives a very kind of half-smiled response. She stands, again, it's a very like kind of cordial body language and attitude, really nothing hostile or even showing any overt disgust. Her friend not exactly hiding his disgust with your presence, however. So she just stands there with her arms gently folded, and after the introduction, yes, Theo?
Royal or specifically Theo?
Is the guy recoiling at only Theo sent, or is he kind of recoiling at both of us?
Both. In general, he doesn't like your presence. So she keeps her arms kind of gently folded, and after your introduction, just nods. Well, then, what is it you're looking for?
And are the two of you going to exchange your names as well? It is always nice to know exactly who we're talking to.
She did say Maria, but in reference to asking her that, she'll look slightly over at her friend, and he again seems just like a stone wall, like not responding, almost kind of just a reluctant bodyguard. She turns back to the two of you and says, "You can call him Chase if he would respond at all, which I am not so sure he will."
Whatever. The reason I was... Again, I appreciate you two meeting with us. I have been hearing things going on and certain tension rising up between, apparently coming from certain members of... I'm not sure what exactly you call your organizational units, but certain of your members are getting upset and disgruntled over the conditions of New Orleans. And I'm here to preemptively extend an olive branch, or at least a truce, that we may discuss these things and settle them before anything gets out of hand.
Maria actually relaxes a little bit and gives you a slightly more genuine smile. However, Chase doesn't move an inch. So you're here to discuss the treaty. I understand. Well, she looks again at Chase and then back to you. Do you understand the actual problem we're having here with said treaty?
Yes, at least I gather there are issues with the treaty. However, it has just want to reiterate that my kind has not breached this treaty in any way, shape, or form.
Chase, standing behind her, starts to move quickly, and she just holds her arm out, stopping him without physical force, but much more her presence, telling him to not make another move. But he does glare at the two of you and growls low in his throat. Now, Chase, play nice with the mosquitoes. The problem we're having here, yes, perhaps you're not the one building new homes and new roads and continually spreading your concrete into our territories, but you're not upholding your part of the treaty when you move into these new lands either.
I'm sorry. Typically when my kind seeks to rule the kind, your kind takes offense to this. So do not hold the doings of the kind to us. For if we were in control, these things would be managed. Second of all, it wasn't, to my opinion, that your kind cared for the jungles of concrete.
We don't. That was my point. It continues to spread and you follow along.
And the alternative you propose to the current situation?
I mean, we could just kill all the fuckers. I think that would work.
You say that you don't control them, but that is all you do, so why don't you?
Am I the city planner? Theo, did I run for office and forget? Have I never been officially released of that one position I had back in 82?
No, I think that was like a couple 100 years ago, and I think they impeached you for sleeping with multiple women.
See, that's how I recalled it as well.
Well, if you don't want them on your land, why don't you kill them?
Or purchase the land for yourselves and work within the means of mortal society. The kind do things their way, and if you would purchase the territory and hold on to it and develop it as you see fit, there wouldn't be this problem. How you guys fail to deal with
and
your
Maria
demands.
starts rubbing her forehead, looking frustrated and upset. We have no problem with humans. You're missing the point. And Chase kind of grabs her arm, pulling at her. Why are we here? They won't listen. We should just go. Or do you want me to tear their throats out?
Look, I've heard incredibly clearly what you've said. However, you said you do not like the jungle, you do not like the concrete, you don't like cities. Let's use the term. But you guys refuse to patrol cities. If you're not going to utilize the land, if you abandon it as soon as they make it a city, what's wrong with us moving in to claim it? So either you guys will hold on to the land and prowl the cities and do whatever you will in it, or you can continue to complain that the kind are building more and more cities and just give up the land. Which way is it? You can't have both.
Chase walks off a couple feet and seems to, scratch at the back of his head, trying to keep himself calm. And Maria actually, otherwise, steps forward toward all of you, toward the two of you, a couple more feet, and sighs again. Listen, it's not the problem exactly about the city expanding. The problem is we had a treaty with lines drawn, and you follow them wherever they go. If we're there to protect them and work with them. It's one thing. It's when you... And she stops for a second. It's when you move into our territory that the treaty is being broken. We appreciate everything you've done in our fight against these fucking... And she stops again. Seems to almost have said something that, you've got high alertness. It seems like she was just gonna say something like she didn't want you to know the term she was gonna use.
What? The Technophiles?
She actually lets go and laughs pretty wholeheartedly at that. Yes. Them.
Wait.
Yeah, well, that's what we're here for, too. I
Excuse
promise you, Bjorn and I have had land here. I've probably been here longer than you and your father, or mother, or whatever. I know. I was here when we did the treaty. I was here with the old prince. We stick to our land. Unfortunately, just like humans, just like your kind, I'm sure you can't control every last one of them and where they all go. We're trying, but we don't want the frickin' magic users here. I don't want them feeding off your land or touching my voodoo people. I want to keep this entire land magical and wonderful and scary. I don't much care for the big shining buildings either. So don't treat us as the enemy. We're standing here to help. And if our helping means getting rid of some of these young vampires, give me names. Who's going on lines they don't belong?
You're driving her to drink.
Sorry, I gotta play chase now. Downtown is all you hear growled from Chase, who is facing you, or not, is facing away from you.
I'm sorry, what? My ears don't work very well.
When you care about your PCs and need to decide how mean to play your Arun.
I mean, I'll play someone that doesn't have a gravelly voice next time.
Chase turns around harsh on his heel and starts stamping back to Maria as she closes her eyes and again kind of puts her arm up as a weak little barrier. And he stops alongside her. Downtown New Orleans. It was our territory. It's important. And you have been moving in along with the humans over the last century.
So you're gonna move in. Like you're gonna live downtown with humans.
Chase just, again, kind of turns away, realizing he's too frustrated to deal with this negotiation, and Maria opens her eyes again. It doesn't matter what we do with the territory to you. It's important to us.
Well, Bjorn, I don't think that's happening as much as I want to honor old treaties. Good fucking luck. Unless they're ready to start killing something.
What are you expecting us to kill?
The people, the vampires, both, I don't care. I have no business there. What do you think, Bjorn?
So this land in downtown that she's laying claim to? It was to my understanding that we were keeping to all the boundaries. So who are these people moving in on apparent werewolf territory?
The problems are that this treaty was made about 200 years ago, easily. So, early 1800s, New Orleans. Actually, wait, I'm trying to remember. I think it was 1718. It was actually New Orleans was made. Well, it was a territory, and then New Orleans, the city, was claimed. Anyway, point is that early 1800s, it was still, like, at most, giant plantation mansions and small city centers. Over the next couple centuries, and of course, even Kindred would understand that Lupine probably tend to live a little longer than humans, but aren't like vampires. It's still going to be generation after generation, just a little longer than humans. But as cities developed, stretched out into more areas, block by mile, took more land, even started building in kind of swampy areas that might have been previously assumed you couldn't build on. Humans built territory there. What you're understanding from the conversation is that the werewolves aren't actually really too much upset about the development. They're upset about the places being developed by humans, and then werewolves making havens and territory there.
Vampires.
What did I say?
You said werewolves, but I got the gist.
Sorry. Trying to run 3 splots at one.
Look, once they build on it, doesn't it lose its karma or chi or essence or the magic, the soul? Isn't it gone once they put the skyscrapers and pave the roads? It's not valuable to you anymore, is it?
Maria actually gives you a bit of a pitying look and says, "You wouldn't understand."
No, that's why I asked. I'm asking you, is it not true? I thought it was true.
No.
Oh, so it's still important after they pave over it and pollute it.
Yes.
Well, I will take your concerns into consideration. However, this land has been developed for decades at this point. Why is this suddenly only an issue now? Something has to have changed that you've decided now is a fantastic time to bring up this entire point.
How long have you been here? And actually, I will slightly note that the werewolves have been causing trouble for at least like a couple decades. Just slowly and subtly and kind of individuals, because as a group, they still don't want to break the treaty.
I was in Maine for a good 15 years. I came back because Theo was getting a bit lonely without me.
Yeah, it's been a boring 200 years.
Wait, 200? What year is it?
I don't know. I don't pay attention. Siri, what year is it?
He has an Android.
He doesn't have a phone at all.
He just has a twig he picked up like a couple miles back.
I don't know. Damn thing never works.
So apparently this has been an issue, and as opposed to, simply bringing up your valid claim to the territory, you're going to what? I mean, I cannot negotiate myself for what you are all requesting and claiming to be yours. I can certainly take this petition before the prince and we can raise it and go from there. However, you have to realize what you're asking.
Maria chuckles and says, "Do you think there hasn't been communication between my people and your prince? You think this is the first time this has happened, even in the last few years? I don't even understand why you came out here. Who... Did your prince send you?"
Oh, that fucking asshole doesn't tell us shit.
No, I decided to come out here and discuss with this myself. I had heard things and wished to investigate.
We're old, very old. We have appreciation for the old ways. I mean, this one here can turn into a dog. I mean, we're going go way back to the beginning of this. We were around back then, but we're not, politically savvy.
At this point, we're going to take our last little break, if anyone needs to run off, and we will actually be getting back to the party afterwards, and we will find out how things end with you and Bjorn just after the party. Or, you know, as these games tend to go, maybe it'll be next week. But we'll try and actually finish up a scene for once in one game. But yeah, as usual, if anybody in the chat has questions about the player characters, about the game setting, any of that sort of thing, go ahead and post your questions, and we will be happy to answer them for you. I'll also change up the music.
Wow.
Mario.
Hey, how's he
Luigi.
at this party? Like, is he like, what's the emotion level currently at?
What happened?
What's going on?
What?
Are you asking me or
party?
Luther?
I'm asking Abraham how Abraham likes the party.
Ah.
I am not asking Luther anything, because
Luther ain't not here. I mean, honestly, Abraham is focused on his task at hand. He's not really enjoying the party. Like he's going through the motions of being in the party, but he has a goal and he is following through with that goal. I mean, he likes the music though.
how does he feel about like parties in general? Like if this one weren't like
if this one weren't
everything it is.
this I think, because I don't think this is particularly loud and rambunctious as far as Mardi Gras parties go. This he likes more of the casual laid back parties because he's just kind of a chill guy. Like if he's gonna choose to go to a party, it's gonna be something a little bit more relaxed. Like maybe not quite as bad as like a cigar bar or something, you know, where it's just a bunch of dudes sitting and lounging in chairs, but you know, kind of the feel of what you would expect. Huh?
Did I prefer sitting in lounges?
What did I say?
You said lounging in chairs. You're fine.
Oh, okay, cool.
I feel like it may have been better to have Theo go to the party. I feel like he would have started less race wars that way.
Yeah.
You know,
Upon consideration, it may not have been best for Theo to go with me.
watching like the most sassy vampires in the world negotiate, I'm really glad that Rebecca's at the party.
I mean, maybe we've seen some pretty fucking sassy vampires. I'm not sure if these are the most in the world.
Okay, but they're pretty damn
Pretty
sassy.
damn, yeah.
Okay,
I would say
he asked
Theo's
if he was
more
city
sarcastic
planners
than sassy.
body.
Bjorn was just tired with their words before they started speaking.
Spira, just to be clear, like, so I was around when the treaty was signed. When I said that I had like a penthouse apartment, I'm assuming that this is outside of treaty lines or not.
Yeah, no. at that time, there was a very clear kind of heavily developed city center. Like, even think Philadelphia when it was first, really settled. There were a bunch of, like, larger buildings and markets and everything in one very central location, and then it begins sprawling outwards. So that sort of happened. Like I said, even places that people earlier thought, like, you can't build here. Parts of, like, slightly swampier, less, forgetting the word I want, but, like, stable land, eventually, better building techniques, and quality equipment allowed humans to expand further, all that sort of thing. So, as I said, it was signed over a couple decades, or a couple centuries ago, and it's really only been the last, like, couple decades that werewolves have been lashing out, and it's been more on a, like an individual level. Like, this is out of character, kind of, but not sanctioned by any elders of their pacts or anything. However, there are also black spiral dancers, and that's a whole nother situation.
Real quick, basically what I'm asking is, am I one of the people infringing? Because I feel like I wouldn't do that, but...
No.
Okay, cool.
No, they're saying, like, these humans are making more territory, and they, as werewolves, again, a little out of character, that you're... As vampires, you might not know this, but they're very protective of humans. You kind of get that, like, they have, like, an okay relationship with them one way or the other. They're not, like, kindred and kind, where it's like, maybe I like them, but they're also food. But the problem is, anywhere that there's houses and humans, kindred sometimes want to at least hunt there, if not make their own havens and or claim domain. Which is, like, if nothing else, they just don't want vampires near those borders, because that's, even if it's concrete, even if it's housing, it's supposed to be theirs.
Yeah, no, totally. I just wanted to make sure that I was not one of the people infringing, and, like, it's like, oh yeah, cool, this is concrete, I have a penthouse suite now. I don't care that it used to be in the thing that I was part of signing.
Definitely, like, I actually am following the maps that are in the book, and no, it is the parts that got developed later, and that's their problem.
Yeah, well, I mean, because the place that I'm in right now would be newer, because it's up high.
Yeah, but a lot of places got rebuilt, redeveloped. So an old, mansion that was falling apart might have been turned into a complex or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Just wanted to make a hunt that I was okay with that.
No, even by the borders, I understand in the game that it's saying this is where they're pissed off about. Wouldn't count for where you are.
And just for maybe clarity for everyone else, the question I'd asked earlier is the power. What is the power level in a game sense of werewolves in this splat and our continuum versus Werewolf the Fallen or whatever? Like, they're not the all-ending god-killing machines that they are in Requiem or the Fallen. Are they? Anyway, explain what you had mentioned to me earlier.
You guys are older vampires. Elder by certain standards, at least very powerful older ancillary by other standards. Basically, vampires from Europe are like, but in America, you're definitely elders. So you are formidable. I am using actual werewolf splat, though. So they are nasty things you don't want to get on the wrong side of.
Okay, since we're mixing splats, if werewolves are don't touchy, even strong vampires get annihilated, then mages are demigods? That's what I'm trying to get. Why do the werewolves need vampire help to get rid of mages?
No, it's, there are even playing fields depending on how you approach any given situation. And, okay, so for you with your MOBA thing, there are balances and checks and things where it's like, rock beats paper, paper beats scissors, scissor beats, like that sort of thing. Like, you know, it's back and forth at, like, werewolves, you know, just against a single vampire, you're done. Like, if they really wanted to kill you, even like a younger werewolf against a slightly older vampire, probably no good. But vampires, even in canon, have been able to deal with werewolves. They just have to be a bit smarter, a bit more cunning, do the research, be prepared.
I think one of the things is vampires.
Batman versus Superman.
So fucking fast.
All right, take.
Werewolves have to wait for ages to get a new one. Vampires is like, oh, cool, you decimated my population here. I'm gonna go bite some more people. Bam, I've got more. And mages have to be super secretive about who they are, because the moment they fuck with the consensus, like, Paradox slaps them in the fucking face.
Yes.
So I think it's a numbers game.
I think I came up with a good analogy. It's kind of Batman versus Superman. You've got a lot of resources, political influence, all these things you can use to set up different ways to defeat them, fight them, weaken them, than just 1v1 fighting with fists. Like, a Bruja against a werewolf ain't gonna do so well, but a crew of vampires with a lot of time, consideration, cunning, techniques, lots of different things, totally deal with some werewolves. And then similarly, mages, it's all gonna depend. That goes into like a whole other conversation, because are you talking traditions? Are you talking technocrats? How many? What group? What do they want?
Theo has no idea, so he's just like, whatever.
My final point is just that every splat has its way to deal with another. It's just not necessarily one for one.
Oh no, I know. I'm basically like, at what point does it become incredulous to push further? That's what I guess, like, I'm trying to get that idea for Theo. Like, at what point does Theo go, hey, Abraham, I actually need 14 MiG missiles to settle a dispute I had with someone?
I'm gonna end this conversation real quick with one simple example without giving anything major away. But say Theo and Bjorn walked up with a little extra preparation, and only Maria was there. In Maria's case, you don't know anything about her, but I would say that you'd have not only a fighting chance, but in the right situation, probably be fine. If not, do pretty well. If the two of you walked up and it was even just chase, you'd be fucked out of your skulls, ruined. So it all depends.
Abraham is Abraham is going to answer that question with, I did not get to be as rich as I am by making such frivolous purchases.
All right, Abraham, but like an M1 Abrams tank, okay?
We're getting closer, but how much money is too much?
Where will it be?
All right. People want to play, so we're gonna get back to the party.
I was just chatting. Any point you want to cut us off?
That's what I just did.
Yup.
Alright, back at the club, where Dinah has finished her preparations. Crowd has already started filling in. Rebecca started discussing things with Luther after he verified that he didn't have, quote-unquote, a type of site to look for what they were keeping an eye out for, the technocrats. Abraham, on the other hand, has been trying to watch the crowd and is acting like a typical quiet bystander. Nothing special. Now that the actual audience has filled in, the people who wanted to attend this party are here, Dinah is gonna head back up to backstage, make sure everything is in preparation, and Luther is going to give her a little introduction because she is going to start the evening with a short song before Heather's band, the Callaways, gets started.
Luther would probably go and check it on Dinah before we do it. Just a little like pre-funk, make sure she's good. Oh. Well, how are you doing?
I'm gonna be doing all right.
We don't have a case of the butterflies or anything like that, do we?
If there's anything to butterflies, it's that there may be people who want to kill us in the audience.
Well, I mean, obviously that could be a problem, but I mean, what are the chances of them just cold taking you out right there on stage? If we
Pretty
can
much
find
nothing,
them,
and that's why I'm going out there.
I mean, if we can't find them, which obviously means they want to stay somewhat hidden, and if they're going to stay hidden, they're not going to do this in front of a crowd. So maybe sometime later tonight they might try to kill you, but I mean, as far as right now, you should be fine.
Well, thank you. Your words are very reassuring. As always, Luther.
Of course. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right. And Luther will go out on stage.
Should I pause the regular music? Okay. Y'all about to get a treat.
How many people are in front of us? Like,
on the main floor, there's definitely gonna be a good 70-ish people, and maybe another 12 up on the kind of balcony area. Like I said, it's not a full second floor. It's just a little small area where people can like a little extra standing room. People can like look down at the audience and the stage. So maybe 80-ish people so far. It's a small place, like I said, so even that feels a little crowded, but there's definitely room to move around and dance and stuff.
All right, sounds good. I'll go take the mic. Now, ladies and gentlemen, and all those that go bump in the night, tonight we are graced by a woman so beloved by the people of New Orleans. She needs no introduction, but it is my pleasure to do so. Royalty among these parts, queen of the French Quarter, a siren to all men and women, lady of the Midnight Serenade herself. This is Dinah.
And then Dinah will kind of come out onto the stage in like this very glittery purple dress. Yes, call it that. And she'll kind of nod to the band and it'll start playing. I don't have background music, I'm sorry, so I'll keep it short. But and she goes, all right, this is a song that was written by Fats Waller and a few of his friends back in 1929. It's called Ain't Misbehaving. No one to talk with, all by myself. No one to walk with, but I'm happy on the shelf. Ain't misbehaving, saving all my love for you. I know for certain the one I love. I'm through with flirting, it's just you I'm thinking of. Ain't misbehaving, saving all my love for you.
And the crowd goes fucking wild for this beautiful voice coming out of Dinah's pretty little face. Crowd just claps their hands raw. Everyone just, is hooting, hollering, having a good time. And just, to be real quick about it, Heather and her band, not to lose that energy, start rushing out, trying to get set up on stage to get more live music going for the rest of the crowd. So the Callaways get up on stage and they start playing like a little bit of a cool jazz number first. They have a rock swing to their style normally, but they want to like ease from Dinah's beautiful, kind of classic jazz song into something else. So they start with a little bass and some drum. They have a trumpeter on stage. Gets everybody, still in the spirit, but keeps the movement calm and just a little heady and nice. As they start moving to impart her second sight, her essentially Auspex, but from her line of the magical, spectrum. Now, Rebecca, with your successes, and Luther, you're just basically gonna get to see what she sees. Y'all start waltzing and dancing around the floor, just very kind of chill, nice jazz, simple, toe-to-toe, foot-to-foot kind of dancing, keeping half an eye out while having a good time. Let me actually, okay, so I've why do I always make so many big crowds of NPCs? Why?
You're a glutton.
I am.
Because we're superstars.
Well, it's because I like writing things realistically, and I'm like, but there should be this many of this, and anyway. Alright, so as the two of you dance around, looking at these resonance of colors and feelings and emotions and things like that come off of a lot of the people in the club, you get a sense that there are actually a decent amount of humans. There are people who found the flyers or the references for this party that just came out because they love magic and the occult and in whatever fashion. I think Luther, especially because you're attuned to kindred compared to Rebecca, you're going to get a good count of about 7 to 9 kindred floating about. You can just kind of tell from that lack of heat and color from their body they have to be kindred. 2 of them especially look kind of hidden behind heavy hoods, but you get little glimpses of their faces in their hands, and you think they might be Nosferatu by the way their skin looks a little messed up. Their jaws look a little funny. You can even see a shine of a very long tooth. The rest look like normal people in, late 20s, 30s, or early 30s, kind of club wear, just people out for a good time. And then on the other end, for Rebecca, you'll definitely notice a few members that you count as the undead now that you've got to know them a lot better over the last couple years. But you're definitely gonna feel out 2 mages that didn't even protect themselves from being noticed. And they're going to be a young girl and guy who are very close physically while they're dancing, and just look like they're having a hell of a time. The one guy's face actually looks a little familiar, and you believe he might be another Cult of Ecstasy mage that you've spoken with before. Not close, but you're thinking I think I've met him and we've spoken. And then as you two continue to dance around the floor with the band playing, just as your head sweeps around, you pass by 2 bodies that are unmistakably blank. And even by their posture, their attitude, something about them makes your hair crawl.
Hey, what do they look like?
There is one of them has kind of shorter, messier, dirty blonde hair. Decent weight and build, but skinnier. It looks like he probably runs and takes care of himself. The other is gonna have darker hair, also both of them kind of lighter skinned, but maybe mixed heritage. But the one with the darker hair looks like he definitely really like pushes himself at the gym, has a little extra bulk to him. They are wearing kind of like polos and like trousers, like dress pants. But even that kind of seems to stand out a bit at the club compared to everybody wearing more flamboyant stuff, especially coming up to Mardi Gras.
Yeah. So she will slow down at the first two mages, but not say anything, obviously. Like, if she recognizes one of them as another cultist, she's not gonna. But she's gonna definitely trip up on her dancing just a tiny bit at the sight of the other two, and murmuring to Luther, a couple of maybes over in that corner.
Luther will kind of give like a little bit of a glance, but he doesn't have the sight yet, right? Okay.
She got the other two that she saw a mage-like aura, that kind of like bright sparkling essence, but they just seemed so happy, and she kind of actually by face recognized the one that she thinks is a cult of ecstasy.
Yeah, she's definitely not bringing other mages to their attention. Chill people.
I was just letting you know, girl.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Now, obviously, you have a little bit more experience with these folk than I do, but do we have anything to worry about right now?
I don't know. I don't think they're gonna drag anybody out of here.
All right. Well, perfect. Maybe they're just trying to keep an eye on us, and
that's not a good thing.
As smoothly as he can, he'll kind of take out his phone while like he'll still be hand in hand with you, but the hand that was like around your back will kind of like come out and take his phone and text the prince that we might have some mages here at this party.
Okay. And Rebecca, are you gonna like just continue to dance? What do you want to do? Like, I mean, the music's gonna keep playing, so it's up to you.
She is going to. I mean, as soon as it is an appropriate time to finish up the dance, she is going to thank you, Luther, and walk over to the bar or any place that is close enough to where she can keep a genuine eye on these two people.
All right. And actually similarly, Abraham, and Dinah, now that you finished your song, what are you up to at the party?
I am trying to eavesdrop on these two. I'm letting my private investigator know who I want him to follow. I'm secretly hoping that some rando kindred is going to try and feed on me because I don't have a vampire aura. I'm secretly hoping, but no, I'm mostly trying to eavesdrop on them, listen to what they have to say, and keeping my my private eye up to date on the two that I want him to follow, which are obviously these two.
And Dinah?
Dinah will try to be kind of mingling and like just kind of talking to people and gradually kind of edging her way over to the two disinterested people that she saw. She's not going to talk to them. She just wants to be near them.
I love how they're garnering like a crowd of people who don't want to talk to them. They're just in like a good amount of space next to them.
I'm actually fairly far away. I'm Auspex listening. I exactly don't want to do that. Like, very specifically
totes.
Don't want to do that.
I could just do that. Let's just do that.
I would actually like an additional...
To myself, though. I am playing bait today, after all.
I would like an additional perception roll from Dinah. At 5. So just perception, but 5.
Straight perception?
Yee.
Not alertness, not awareness?
Nope.
One.
Okay. As you start kind of scooting around the club, just trying to be like, hey, how you doing? Being friendly and lovely as the coordinator. There is a trio of people you recognize as kindred earlier. Kind of just like by paler skin hanging together kind of thing. And you recognize one of them. It's a younger man. He's pretty skinny, a little bit effeminate. Like he dresses like, with like really kind of high fashion, tighter fitting clothes, has a very like sweeping kind of short but dark haircut, tanner skin, and you remember that his name is Trey, and he tends to show up in New Orleans around Mardi Gras, a Toreador, pretty much every year. The other two you don't recognize, but you can kind of tell they have slightly paler skin, and that they're like really like they seem very close with him. You could assume, unless you like want to check some other way, that they're maybe kindred as well. But you do recognize him, and you remember that he usually tends to be a real fun sort to have around.
Well, I guess I gotta go do my Toreador socializing, so sure, I'll go talk to him. So I'll pretty much just go find him and be like, Trey, good to see you again. You coming here to see you?
So Trey looks up and goes, oh, my stars, darling, I love your singing. It's so wonderful. And, he gives you a big hug. He starts to introduce you to his two friends. And they're actually just right next to the two you were kind of keeping an eye on anyway. So he continues chatting your ear off, talking about like how he's been since last Mardi Gras, the cruise he's excited to see this year, etc., etc., etc. Who else was at least walking near those two suspicious fellas?
Listen, ain't walking.
Oh, how far are you away?
I am as far as I can reliably hear with enhanced senses. Like that's.
Now, in a giant club with a lot of people dancing and singing and having fun and a band playing, let's say 2 yards. So not very far away, but enough to be like, you're in a busy club, so.
Yeah, I have a drink. I've spent a blood point to temporarily be able to, activate my digestive tract for a little while. I am as human looking as I can be.
Sure. And actually, as you wait and watch, they're pretty much silent. They make some quiet comments to each other, but they don't really seem to be involved in the hyperactive attitude of the club. Now, there are some other people that are a little bit quiet as well. It's not incredibly insane. There's some people that just stand there and enjoy watching people dance, enjoy the music, just kind of want to be there without being involved. But yeah, you've already kind of got your sight on these two, and they seem just a little extra quiet.
All right. If they are not being verbally interesting at all, then I will probably try and find a seat somewhere in a corner a ways away so it doesn't look like I'm dwelling near them.
Okay.
If they're not going to speak, I'm not going to listen.
And Luther, what were you up to again? Oh, Rebecca is waiting, so what are you doing? Sweetie, just speak up. Let me know, because I have a billion screens open. Sometimes I don't notice hands. If anything, I'll just say, 1 second.
I can roll again if you want, or just the last one, but she does want to sense what their impulses are, if she can.
Explain. Explain!
Which is probably not. She wants, like, base mental impulses, like just the feeling of fear, or I want to go
Okay.
dance, or
Okay, cool. Yeah, tell me what you're rolling.
just flat mind 2. So base 3, mind 2.
Okay.
Three.
Does that work for both or one individual?
She's just focusing on one.
Okay.
And probably Mr. I lift all of the things.
So lifts a lot.
That makes it even more fun. I hope I'm doing this right to mage, but it is kind of hunt and dissect.
Yep, she is going to go immediately to the nearest vampires she recognizes.
I think you were a little further away. I think Dinah is the closest to them. I think Abraham is close but further away. Luther wasn't really like he's still kind of just like moving around. So I think probably Abraham.
Yeah, she will find Abraham then. I don't. What are you doing? Are you?
I'm sitting. I'm sitting in a chair somewhere, watching them as casually as I can. So probably not.
So she'll come up, kind of smiling. How are you liking the party? I didn't get to catch up with you earlier. How are you?
It's not exactly my scene, but it's been a minute. I'm doing quite all right.
That's nice. Do you mind if I just disclose something with you really quick?
Go ahead.
I'm not as all right because the two in the corner, and like she will say this as low as she can. They definitely they might be looking for a kill tonight.
Well, I suppose stay in public areas. That is, I have been watching them myself.
That's not as comforting as I thought it would be.
What are you looking for? Because I if I can help, I will. But
okay, well, you wanted to find them, and then now we found them, and now I don't want to die. So, like, can we do something so that way that doesn't happen?
Such as leaving?
Rebecca, roll me perception alertness at 5.
All 4.
As you are talking with Abraham, I would imagine you're kind of keeping your sight on not just the place in general, but especially the other kindred you know around here. And Dinah's just not that far away, speaking with a small group that you believe might be kindred, especially since she's spending time speaking with them. One of them gives her a little kind of pat on the shoulder and starts walking off in the direction of where the bathrooms are. That doesn't seem too bad, but you do notice as you continue to speak with Abraham, after about 30 seconds, that beefier guy gets up and starts walking away in the same direction.
Yeah, she's gonna just nice and just tug on his arm and then go regardless of whether or not he gets up.
As in, like which direction are we going?
The one where the chick and then also the guy went.
So, you want to follow the people that you are scared of?
He
killing?
wants to hunt them. You want me to leave?
I mean, I will follow. I'm just okay. Not sure how much help I can be. I am, and I'll kind of like gesture with my cane.
Yeah, no, she'll look at. Then that's good. That's a weapon. You can use it. If not, I can use it. Let's.
I will follow, I guess.
Luther, what are you up to right now?
Well, I mean, if I was going to be running the auction and stuff like that for the occult items, then I guess I'd be over there kind of handling that and waiting for the prince to text me and yada yada.
Right. Let's hop back to the bayou to make sure our other boys get some good time in tonight. This might be a two-parter, but I mean, it's a bigger scene anyway, and I think doing 1 week in 2 games is still a much bigger improvement from New York. So give me 1 second to switch some music around. Alright, back to Theo and Bjorn along St. John Bayou in New Orleans, speaking with Maria and sort of speaking with Chase, the local Lupine, who agreed to meet with them, about the problems with the treaty. Essentially, they don't really so much have a problem with humans expanding where they move, but certainly, you know, when vampires make home, they are tainted by the worm. Not that these vampires know what that is, but they don't like them being there. They don't want them close to their own homes. So Maria has explained the problem is that, you know, they're following the humans. Not specifically Bjorn and Theo, but Kindred are moving along with the humans, and they don't want that.
So, as I'd last said, is of course we'd be happy to take this before the prince. We're doing this of our own accord, and we're not necessarily politically inclined with the prince, yada. And just to reiterate, we're doing this for ourselves. We don't have a political stay in any of this matters. What we care about is ensuring things stay quiet.
Maria kind of shakes her head, just... Well, what are you expecting me to say?
I am expecting you to say something along the lines of, "Thank you for meeting with me. We appreciate your standpoint. We have our standpoint. We understand yours. And we are going to continue this negotiation and see if we can come to a reasonable conclusion."
Chase is still standing off a ways a little bit. Well, I think he was most recently kind of standing next to Maria angrily, but he again steps back a bit, trying to take a deep breath and keep himself calm. Maria nods slowly at your last comment. Looks a little salty about it, though. And says, "I am, of course, very appreciative that you came forward about this. It takes her a couple more seconds, and then actually you see more, like, kind of genuine approval on her face. Actually, yes, I'm sorry. It's been... It's complicated between our kinds, of course, you know that. I do actually appreciate you taking your time to come out and speak with us about this, and you've seemed genuine, not trying to get anything more out of the treaty, but actually to fix it. She ends that last sentence sounding almost confused.
I don't have to roll to pick up on the confusion, do I?
No, I'm gonna say it's clear enough.
Yeah. Look, I wasn't. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not trying to like be big about it. We're just very old and pretty set in our ways.
What I think
not looking
Theo
to ruin this treaty
is trying to say is we're a bunch of old men who are telling our grandchildren to keep the noise down. Happens to be they're making noise with you, but we're doing this for our own sakes. As he said, we're not doing this out of some monogamous gesture. We have our motives. We want things quiet. We want things calm, and it happens to be that our goals so align.
Look, I own land here, just like you do. I've been here since before the treaty, and I sure as hell would raise a problem if they tried walking into my territory. I understand. We're gonna do what we can. And is it like literally bite his tongue a little bit for a second? We can try to be friendly, though. You know, we don't have to be sitcom enemies.
Hold on. At least civil.
Oh my god, that moment when, like, you want to say something because you know your character would, but you also don't feel like re-rolling a character? Do
You know.
werewolves understand what syphilis is?
Yeah.
I won't do it. I won't. Theo might, though, but I won't. Alright, is there a way we can meet with you without going through what's-his-face, the crazy man?
Are you talking about Chase?
No,
Travers.
without going through Travers. Can we meet up in, like, a couple days and work on a plan, talk to the prince, give us a little bit of time?
Chase, big angry boy behind her, for the first time approaches the line she's standing at much more calmly, though still arms crossed, and definitely still doesn't like you guys. But he stands next to her, almost in a kind of like camaraderie way, and she nods slowly. If you would like to continue these discussions, yes, I would be open to further discussion, especially considering... And she gives, otherwise, Theo a kind of like... look up and down. Fair negotiations. And, amenable discussion.
Okay, so, like, you do have cell phones, right? I lose mine, and I have to change my number, like... I think it's been 4 times this week, but Bjorn is good. He can call you.
The two don't move as far as, like, taking cell phones out, but Maria nods at Bjorn. I can give you a number.
Sure, and I'll happily take it from her.
Yeah.
555 555
1,000. No. It's 555 555 1,000.
Oh, okay.
Get it right. So she gives you a phone number and says that it will reach her.
And we will be speaking with you in a few nights here.
So Maria nods in a cordial farewell, kind of turns around.
Oh, hey!
Oh, wait. Give me a perception alertness at 3.
Yep.
Alright. Just wanted to make sure you didn't fail at it, but, as she's turning around, you see just the slightest, most, obviously secretly loving the situation little smile across her face.
But I am gonna yell back as stop and before we leave. Hey!
She and Chase pause and then turn back around to look at you.
I know we're gonna talk in the next couple days, but fair warning, we're expecting some problems with the technophiles, so you might want to be careful. We'll let you know what we know, but they're around and it won't be good. They're looking to do something bad at Mardi Gras.
Isn't that the point of Mardi Gras?
But not the good bad, the bad bad. Not the I caught syphilis 200 years ago here bad, but more like, oh no, where are my feet? Why did they steal them? I don't know why they're valuable. I should have never talked to that vampire that looked like a dead guy kind of bad.
They both had turned to look at you and pause as you explain what you were, Sorry, he was shaking the desk. He was shaking his legs so hard, it was shaking everything on my screen. I lost track of what I was thinking. Anyway. They both pause looking at you as you explain, that these technocrats might be looking or making more moves during Mardi Gras. And Maria just nods, thanking you for the information. Chase is stalwart, but has a look I would say Bjorn recognizes a little bit like a even an enemy soldier kind of giving thanks to one for not being a total ass. You know what I mean? Just kind of like, yeah, okay. You could have thrown that axe to my back, but we're leaving on good terms. Right, Bjorn?
It could have. But then I'd have this body to clean up and all this blood. Yeah, just like, it's in the middle of the night. I don't want to dispose of the body.
I don't even have any bleach or
stuff
lye.
I mean, I'm sure Theo has a person to take care of this, but...
Now, actually, you guys had your meeting just before that party started, so it would have gotten under swing a little bit by the time this ended, if you would like to head over. Or if you want to head home. Up to you two.
Nah, I'd be headed in the way of the party.
All right.
You know how
I
these
think me
guys
and
are.
Bjorn both would, and I'd probably text Rebecca and be like, "Hey, how many people have died so far?"
Yeah. No. I'm sorry. She will then in that case she will pull Abraham towards the direction of the bathroom, see her phone. And text, "They're here. Give me 5 minutes. Prob's gonna die. LOL."
I'll text back. I'll make sure your corpse is beautiful and your coffin is nice.
She won't respond. Like she's gotten the message across. She's
And I'll probably warn Bjorn that we should probably hurry up because things might not go well.
And I, because because I am super not the helpfulest when it comes to fighting things, and I know that Dinah kind of is. I'm gonna think real hard at her.
You're thinking real hard at me?
I'm gonna think real hard at her.
I'm not really trying to resist, so yeah, you did it.
Actually, you know what? The difficulty of telepathy, aspects number 4, or level 4, is the willpower of the other person. You know what? I think there is a detail that says if they're not resisting, it works fine. Resisting is if you would be someone who wouldn't want your mind invaded. But if you are...
Which I did earlier, so, it still fits.
Here's how I want to set our essential house rule / official rule, whatever. If someone is not resisting, no difficulty, you can do it. Let's say if they weren't amenable in the situation, like they didn't know you were going to probably try and contact them, probably still at least like a medium difficulty though. Like, like if you try to like call someone, they're having like dinner while they're on like a date, they're not gonna like want to be bothered suddenly. You know what I mean? So we'll make it, this is a situation where Dinah knows Abraham has that, they've done it before, and actually would be happy to have that communication. If another situation arrives, if the other person says, I wasn't happy and waiting and ready for that communication, we'll put it at like a 6.
Cool.
If it's anybody else though, like Abraham wants to check Theo and he wasn't amenable, that'll be his willpower.
I would say that Theo is...
As example, I was looking at you.
I was gonna say, I think Theo is like the easiest person in the world to read.
Probably.
It's more like good luck.
Okay, but other kindred, if they're not like accepting of that situation or waiting for it, it'll be their willpower as difficulty. But Abraham, Dinah, go ahead.
I'm going to send a single word because I'm still paranoid that they're gonna pick up on this. I don't know how mages work, and it's just gonna be the word bathroom.
Okay. Dinah will like politely kind of excuse herself from her whatever conversation she's in and head that way. If she recognizes, I'm sure she recognizes that it's Abraham's voice. Yeah.
Sorry, did you ask me something? My screens went weird.
Oh. Nope. No, I said the word bathroom to her.
Okay.
Because I'm paranoid that they're gonna intercept all this shit.
Right. Okay. So, Dinah, you receive bathroom.
Yep. Nope. Excuse myself out of conversation and start conversation and start going to the bathroom.
Well, you actually did know the one Toreador when like patted your arm and went, "Gotta go to the ladies." She ran off.
Yeah.
Okay, see that I was not aware of that whole thing. That's why I was like, why are you pulling me this direction? What is going on?
But Dinah would be less weirded out. She'd be like, okay.
Yeah, so she starts heading there.
What's behind door number 1, Spira? I want to know.
Bad
The
things.
void.
And
void.
next time on Storyteller by Night.
I mean, we're close, but I was gonna play a little bit more.
Behind door number 1 is the void itself.
So actually, I would say if Abraham, would you catch up to her or send that beforehand? Because she's closer to the bathrooms.
I would. I mean, I would send it. Actually, I'd send it pretty quickly. Like as Rebecca's grabbing me, I'd take a couple steps and then be like, "I cannot help here. Dinah can." So she would probably get there before I do.
Okay.
Presumably.
Okay. Yeah. So Dinah, you get that message from Abraham. Bathroom. You already saw the one kindred in the group you were talking to head that way. So you start walking that direction. 1 second. You've got average to above average alertness and perception anyway. I'm not even asked to roll. You're gonna kind of notice one of the weirdos you kind of noticed earlier heading in the same direction you are, trailing the person going to the bathroom. So in fact, actually, the role I would like is
Hey, quick
This
question.
should be my best roll. Or one of them. We will see what happens.
Hey, quick question.
Yeah.
I ain't got performance. It's not a thing on Mage.
Huh.
I have for you expression, etiquette, and art.
I mean, look at you, Shiro.
Everything in Mage does is performance.
While she's looking at your sheet, I'm going to say something.
So
I'm
good.
actually going to say something to Rebecca.
Sure. What?
A crowd would stop them.
You want me to incite a rally?
No.
A riot?
A crowd. No, I asked the question. A crowd would stop them. Yes.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to play some elder shenanigans.
Hey!
I'm going to start putting my hands on people and convincing, specifically women, and convincing them they really need to go to the bathroom right now.
Real quick before Zabani does that, I am gonna say
Wait,
for Rebecca, actually for Hope specifically, so performance is in VTM and the other ones that have it is acting. Expression is very similar. It's like giving a great speech and making sure your words mean what you want to convey. So what I will do, if you like, is I'm happy to just use that role for anything I would say is showing an expression. I'll allow acting, essentially.
I'm pretty close.
Well, no, because performing can also be like acting on a stage, doing a dance, different things like that.
So-
If you're not doing like an art school kind of thing, if you just want to like express yourself in a way, I'm okay with mixing those.
So you use art if you were to dance or something like that. They consider it an artistic thing. It's not just like I paint real good.
Oh yeah, you have art, yeah. Oh yeah, you have 2 art. Okay, then that'll be performance for you.
Cool.
Sabani, what was your last note? Sorry, I was trying to make sure I had all that
My last
stuff
thing
correct.
was if crowds are going to cause
Yes,
hopefully
all
stop
the
them,
ladies are going
I'm
to the
going to
bathroom.
I'm gonna start dominating people through touch, making all of them rush to the bathroom.
Uh-huh. Yes, Hope?
Nice. Nice. Hey.
Oh,
Hey,
no.
that's nice.
Oh, baby girl, you just double botched. Oh,
So
honey.
here's the question. What new character are you
Oh,
playing?
honey boo boo. Oh no.
You can't kill my Becca. Eat the green bag.
So you were trying to act chill, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Please, Abraham.
Literally walking
dominate
like
the shit
this.
Out of her.
Huh?
I said, please, Abraham, dominate the shit out of her and make her chill.
I need. It's not the right timing. We'll slightly retcon it, but I need Theo and Bjorn to show up because I need a minute.
Oh,
Slam
it's gonna
open
be-
the door.
That's
Check
the
the
last
button.
thing I wanted to hear. Like,
Go
not
on
the
and
Theo
say it,
part,
and welcome
but
to
the
the
you
jail.
needing a minute part.
Look, I gotta, you know, obey the botches, but I also like to make them fun for everybody. So
Except for maybe the person
So
who rolled them.
I will argue that Bjorn and Theo are running quite fast. Now that they know
Yeah.
they are.
Quick request. Just a quick request.
One that happens to be a more handsome dog than the other.
That's me.
Fuck
Can
you, my
someone
mask
please take
But
Roland's?
they're both good boys.
I don't want them.
Elvish, in answer to your question, vampires are why. Vampires
But
are
it's
why.
not all. It's mostly not vampires there, though.
There's like 7 of them, man.
There's like yeah, and with
That's a good amount.
there's
No, no, no.
an hour-long line
No.
to the ladies'
Don't
room in
do
this place. What
The fact
magic? I love it.
the fact that vampires exist is why. Just that's why. How,
yeah.
how does that work? No, just that's why.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it.
I'm
That's
buying it.
still too
I've
unbelievable.
already bought it. It's in my house.
No,
Yeah, I purchased it. I opened the package.
I did not. You could be like, Sauron is real, but like, yeah, but there's still a 30-minute line to the ladies' room at Club Bubbles. Like, I don't care.
Not at Club Bubbles, sir.
I'm
We're
just
at
saying.
Paris.
Yeah, Club
Like-
Bubbles is a shithole.
Yeah.
There's
I
like
tried-
a
That's why the
5-minute
line's
wait.
only 30 minutes and not
There's like
We're
a
at
5-minute
Pickles.
minutes.
We're at Pickles. It's a gay
That,
bar.
I'm pretty sure some of these suds aren't suds, so like we're just not going to talk about it.
I'm just saying that, like. Oh, sorry. Good.
It was perception, no, charisma art.
Charisma art.
Thank you. I would be on the floor crying if that was a magic roll.
some of you have recognized that there are these 2 very suspicious people. Specifically, I heard.
Yeah.
Dinah, Abraham, and Rebecca, as she's moving, know that there is this one following a kindred into the bathroom. Theo and Bjorn, you've just arrived, but you know these people, so you can catch them in a crowd. It's not a huge crowd.
Yeah.
So just let me know what y'all are thinking. Just talk it out for a second. I'm about ready for Hope, but I kind of think it would be a good ending. Darling, don't worry too much. I think it'll be fun.
I'm gonna when I come through the door, I'm probably gonna go straight for trying to find Rebecca. Because I got the, like, she was being sarcastic, but, like, I also know how scared she is of these people. So,
Yeah.
like, he's not... I'm going, like, straight for, like, where the hell is she?
And with how alert and panicked Theo is because Rebecca's panicked, Bjorn's gonna panic. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I would
Bjorn's
say,
just
like, you
gonna
probably
basically be
have-
almost right in step with Theo following him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you probably haven't seen Theo this caring about anything in a while. Like, the last, like, 50, 60 years, he hasn't been this actually active.
Yeah, and I'm doing what I said. I'm walking around, putting my hands on like people's arms and the backs of their necks, saying, "You really need to pee right now."
Is there any, like, how does high-level basic telepathy work? Do I know if he's around? Do I know how to, like, scream out to him? Is there any way to call out to Abraham since we've been together for so long?
No, Auspex telepathy is reaching out, not receiving. Exactly.
I'll just call him on the phone.
Hello.
Where are you?
Doing what I can.
No, where are
Bathroom.
you? Where physically are you?
Bathroom at the. I'm in the club. She's going to the bathroom. It's.
Where's the bathroom? Tell me. Stop it. Come on, tell me. He's gonna shake some random person. And head towards the bathroom, I guess, with Bjorn in tow, probably.
Luther?
So you said I noticed them going to the bathroom, or no?
Well, yeah,
Everyone go.
Rebecca had moved away from you. You were kind of like just socializing, but you can kind of like, again, I mean, it's a decently crowded club, but not that heavy. You can see people you recognize easily, and you would see Rebecca going to speak with Abraham, then the two of them moving, and like kind of all in this almost like line moving toward the bathroom. Then Rebecca begins to kind of freak out as you can kind of see her, and people begin moving faster toward the bathroom.
Okay. And do I still see the two that were like a maybe? The two mages that Rebecca was like, those two might be like, you know.
Give me. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead and give me perception alertness. You got plenty.
Nope.
Hey, guess what? Roland's back.
Hey!
It was really nice.
Well,
But I'm sorry. I'm sad to see you settle back into old tropes.
It's not a botch. You don't recognize the weirdos, but you see everybody running in a direction, so that still gives you note to be like,
Yeah, I'll walk over there. I won't be making a rush, but I'll make my way over to them.
Alright, now, Rebecca, my darling.
Yes.
As you're following this little like crew who seem to be following what you're sure is a technocracy mage, and you're trying to keep track of things around you, things seem to kind of almost like backfire for you, and just like at least 3 or 4 people around you, they weren't even facing you, they weren't talking to you, but it suddenly looks like they have the face of your avatar, and they all kind of tell you quietly in this sort of whisper to turn back, and at least on your matter sphere, you begin to protect yourself somehow automatically. That is not necessarily quote-unquote masquerade friendly.
Okay, what exactly does that look like?
You're better at this than I am. I'm just gonna say it specifically has to involve matter, and your instinct is protection.
Okay.
I'm not trying to cop out. I mean, actually, I would like to know what you think Rebecca's instinct would kind of be, at least with a matter sphere of protection. It doesn't have to be insanely Masquerade breaking, but it's gonna be a bit weird.
No, that's fair.
So
Let's say that her shirt becomes leather. So armored. I mean, she could just go straight up like full metal plate, but that's not really.
No, I wasn't looking for anything that insane, but I will say for like a couple onlookers, whatever, like, you know, nice top or blouse you were wearing, morphs into like a heavy leather tunic, and if they're drunk, they're gonna be like, that's a fucking cool effect. A couple people are gonna step back and be like, what the fuck? And the people who were trying to follow this line of others that are heading toward the bathroom direction because something horrible's going wrong, are all gonna be just kind of like, shit, yeah, it's supernatural night, but we were trying to like not show off anything too bad. And that's where we're gonna stop for tonight. We're gonna pick up next Tuesday with everybody basically running after Creepo number 2, heading to the bathroom after a kindred, while our local mage is having a little bit of a problem. Not enough to cause a panic, but a couple people are gonna be like, But yeah, that is where we will wrap. However, I would like if any of our players had any last comments, thoughts, or things they wanted to say about their characters.
Nope.
I'm just I'm excited about my new realization that I am now the Pea Fairy. That's always fun. I will take this responsibility with pride.
Theo prides himself on not being serious, but like once a decade, and he's about to waste his shot here.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for next week now.
Or I was trying to make this one game, but when things get too much fun, sometimes it takes 2 episodes. Alright, in that case, we're gonna wrap this episode 3 of New Orleans by Night. All of our gang are at a semi-supernatural party trying to catch some technocracy mages. Does technocrats make sense, Hope?
Yeah, technocrat is
Okay.
a correct term.
I felt like I was saying that all the time. I was like, is that right? Yeah. So we're trying to nab ourselves a technocrat before they nab anybody else. And Theo and Bjorn also got some talks going on with some Lupine, so that's good too. We will see you all later. Thank you to everybody that comes out and watches us live on Twitch. Thank you to everybody who watches us on YouTube. If you haven't already joined our Discord, the link is down below, both on Twitch and YouTube, as well as our Twitter link. Our website is nearly done. So close. Promise it'll be up soon. Just need to fix a few more things. We have a lot more fun stuff coming up in the future. Maybe more games. We're working on it. If you didn't catch it already, we have a D&D game that is going to be on Fridays. The last 3 sessions were world building sessions. We did our own world, a lot of basics, elves, dwarves, blah 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 blah, but made our own special races and monsters and gods and really cool fucking shit. And all those episodes are on the VODs for at least a little while. They'll all be up on YouTube. Check them out. This Friday we'll be doing a one-shot because Zibbles our DM, is going to be away. But after that, we should be starting our first actual adventure episode. So excited! I am a World of Darkness nerd. I've really never played much D&D, so I'm super nuts. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube because you normally watch us on Twitch, we would really appreciate a subscribe because YouTube is changing its partner rules and we could use a couple more people. So that'd be super awesome if you want to support us there. Other than that, I think I've covered everything. So, love you all. See you soon. Join us on Discord, like I said. We like to chat with you all there. And we will see you soon. Bye!
Bye bye boo.
See ya.